This is the second time I've set foot in this world.
Welcome to the Star Source continent. Please choose your class.
Class confirmed. Archer.
Upon entering the game, you decisively choose the Archer class, all because you've been reborn with the server's only unique talent, Soul Steel. Soul Steel, Star Source grade. Any creature that dies within a 1 kilometer radius of you will produce a soul fragment that only you can see. Upon absorbing these soul fragments, you gain a permanent +1 to attack and +1 meter to attack range, and the stacks are limitless. You quickly create your character, naming him Double Kill. Arriving at the newbie village, you're shocked by the endless flood of players. Luckily, as a reborn player, you expected this and didn't follow the crowd, who are all stuck in long queues at the village leveling area. Instead, you head to a thatched hut to find a villager and trigger a hidden quest. You give your system-gifted longbow to the villager. Then, with his help, you scale the wall and sneak out of the village.
Wait, seriously? Bro just gave his weapon away.
Is he planning to fight monsters with his bare fist?
Ignoring the stunned onlookers, you quickly circle around the outskirts to the leveling area at the village entrance. Star Source has just launched, and the sea of newbies is crowding the entrance to farm rabbits. These are all level 0 rabbits. Even newbie can punch them to death even without a weapon. Just then, your gaze falls on a rabbit that has just been slain. A soul fragment rises from the rabbit's corpse and flies straight into your body. You've absorbed a soul fragment. Attack power +1. Attack range +1. Elated, you head to the very center of the leveling spot and stand your ground, continuously absorbing soul fragments from all around. With so many people grinding, in just over 10 minutes, your attributes undergo a staggering transformation. Your attack power and range now far exceed those of ordinary players, and they continue to scale with every rabbit killed. While you're busy absorbing soul fragments, a voice calls out from nearby.
He's been standing there for ages. Can we carry him?
Mind your own business.
Soon, 5 hours have passed. The crowd at the village entrance leveling spot begins to thin out, and your attributes have changed drastically. Your attack power has reached a staggering 4,258, while your attack range has hit 4,253 meters. Half an hour later, fewer players are heading out from the starter village, and the rate of rabbit kills in the area is dropped. Seeing this, you move on and head toward the level 1 leveling zone. The mobs here are wildcats. They hit harder than rabbits, but their HP is roughly the same, so they still go down quickly. You even spot some familiar faces, the siblings from earlier. The brother is a rogue, and the sister is a priest. They are grinding hard against the wildcats. Every time a claw hits the brother, he winces in pain.
Brother, I see that poor Archer again. He's still level 0. Brother, can we carry him, please? He doesn't even have a weapon.
Sis, are you kidding me? Your brother's stagger is practically smoking from all the swinging. You still have time to worry about some random guy?
The sister goes quiet and just shoots you an apologetic look. But seeing her brother working so hard, she tosses him a heal. Heal +61. A green light flashes over the brother's head, and he immediately beams with joy.
2 more wildcats and we'll level up!
Then I'll take you to hunt level 2 monsters.
Okay, brother.
What is that?
The Wildcat King. A black iron level boss.
Amidst Yao Yao's startled cry, a wild cat the size of a husky suddenly spawned.
The Wildcat King. A black iron level boss.
The wildcat boss was enveloped in a faint purple glow. This sudden event immediately drew gasps from the surrounding players. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the Wildcat King. The crowd fell into chaos amidst cries of surprise. A horde of players began charging toward the Wildcat King. Some ranged classes had already initiated their attacks. There's no player limit for attacking world bosses. As long as you're in range, you can attack it. Boss EXP rewards are distributed based on damage dealt. Anyone dealing less than 1% damage is excluded. However, item drops belong solely to the one who gets the final blow. Compared to the rowdy crowd, you seem much calmer, because only you knew that the Wildcat King spawn was no accident. It's actually a mechanic in Star Source.
When a large number of monsters in an area are killed, there's a chance a regional boss will spawn.
The Wildcat King is one such boss, except for the rabbit area. By now, attacks from several ranged classes had landed on the Wildcat King. Everyone watched with excitement. As long as these attacks dealt damage, it meant the Wildcat King was killable. However, to everyone's absolute bewilderment, a barrage of ranged attacks rained down on the Wildcat King. In the end, only a few digits like nonce 2 inches and nonce 3 inches floated above its head. Nearly 98% of the incoming range damage was mercilessly soaked up by the boss. The onlookers were completely stunned. In the heat of the moment, only you knew the real reason behind it.
The damage calculation in Star Source differs from traditional games. If an attack doesn't break defense, it deals absolutely 0 damage. Not even a single point of pity damage is allowed.
By now, the player's futile attacks had enraged the Wildcat King. With a piercing screech, its razor-sharp claws unsheathed, and it lashed out violently at the crowd. The warriors standing before the Wildcat King were instantly shredded. One unlucky player even dropped a piece of gear upon death, which was instantly snatched up by a quick-handed thief nearby.
Screw this! We can't even break the boss's defense! Run! This beast is going on a killing spree!
The crowd descended into total chaos, watching the players flee in panic from the boss. You gave a cold sneer and stepped toward the Wildcat King. Watching the players flee in panic from the boss, you gave a cold sneer and stepped toward the Wildcat King.
Is he insane?
The Wildcat King noticed your approach, a flicker of disdain in its eyes.
This human is a fool, trying to challenge me with his bare hands.
The retreating players froze in collective disbelief. The siblings from earlier were left slack-jawed with shock. Amidst the shock, a world announcement echoed in your ears.
Congratulations! You have slain the Black Iron Boss, Wildcat King.
As the first player server-wide to achieve a Black Iron Boss first kill, your reputation has increased by 10. You received silver grade gear and the unique title, Trailblazer, for being the first player in the world to defeat a boss. Your deeds shall be sung across the entire Star Source continent. Would you like to hide your name? No. Server-wide announcement.
Player 1 shot 2 kills. As the first player to slay a Black Iron tier boss is hereby officially recognized.
Rewards, silver grade equipment chest, plus 10 reputation, and the unique title, Pioneer. At this moment, everyone has only one thought. Just who is this one shot 2 kills? How can we get in touch with him? While the other players are still reeling from the shot, you quickly scoop up the loot from the ground and leave the crowd without looking back. Now you're hiding in a corner of the newbie village, checking your game. You allocate the 10 attribute points from your level up into Constitution. Then check your inventory. A green glowing item. Exquisite Wildcat boots. Likely due to the first kill bonus, the Black Iron Boss actually dropped bronze grade gear. However, you're only level 2 and can't equip these boots yet. Besides the bronze gear, there's still a silver chest waiting to be opened. Taking a deep breath, you open the chest, and a brilliant silver light flashes.
This is the Silver Moon Longbow.
Silver Moon Longbow, silver grade, plus 50 attack range, plus 10% attack speed. Active skill, Silver Moon Carnival. Attack speed increases to 200% for 10 seconds. Cooldown, 1 hour. Your eyes light up. This is exactly what you needed.
The skill attached to the Silver Moon Longbow
Perfectly compensates for my current lack of attack speed. My mob clearing efficiency is about to skyrocket.
Putting away the Silver Moon Longbow, you pose as a newbie and blend into the leveling crowd. You bypass the Wildcat grinding spot entirely. He headed toward the Wild Dog grinding spot further away. There were still plenty of players here, but the crowd density had noticeably thinned out. You arrived at a relatively crowded area, and then pretended to fire occasional arrows at empty spaces. Just as you were peacefully collecting soul fragments, a petite figure approached you.
Master Double Standard, is that you?
You've got the wrong person.
No way. I've been watching you for a long time. You're definitely Double Standard. No way. I've been watching you for a long time. You're definitely Double Standard.
Are you sure you haven't mistaken me?
You can't fool me. I recognize your build. Great God. Could you add me as a friend? If you need heals later, you can call me. I have huge healing output. And my brother is very handy too. If you need someone for errands, I can call him for you.
Yao Yao said, pointing to a rope nearby whose daggers were moving so fast they left after images.
Yo, I'm almost out of HP! Save me!
Hearing this, the girl simply raised her hand. In the next second, a green light rose from the rope's head. HP plus 88. You raised an eyebrow at the sight. Such massive healing.
For a priest at this level, healing 40 GP would be considered good.
But this priest named Yao Yao could actually heal 88 points. Fine, you can add me as a friend.
I already sent the request. My name is Yao Yao Gets Carsick.
One of the 3 legendary healers from my previous life, known as the Human Fountain, Motion Sick Yao Yao. But the Motion Sick Yao Yao in the previous life had a cold, don't come near me vibe. She was nothing like this sweet and naive girl in front of me, alright. But then again, if this priest is indeed her,
Then that guy over there.
Is your brother's name Shadow?
Do you know my brother?
So it's him, the scoundrel, a veteran rogue in the gaming world.
A sister-obsessed maniac and the #1 nuisance in Star Source.
I heard his talent is speed boost. He'd make a pretty good utility player.
at this thought, your lips curl up slightly, and you look at Yao Yao with even more interest.
I won't hurt your brother for now.
If anything comes up later, I'll just contact you directly.
Got it. Great God.
After a brief chat with Yao Yao, you leave the wild dog grinding spot. Currently, the main force of players has reached level 3, and some pro players have hit level 4, nearing level 5.
You remember that the first player to reach level 5 can claim the only unique quest in the newbie village,
along with the unique reward.
This will be a massive help for your future leveling journey. It has already been over 6 hours since the game launched. Since you're using a gaming helmet, your online limit is only 8 hours. You must use the remaining hour or so to reach level 5 and claim that dungeon quest. Once accepted, you can wait until tomorrow's login to complete it. You check your talent, it has already stacked over 6,000 times. With over 6,000 meters of range and matching attack power, you can easily one-shot any normal monster at this stage. Relying on your memories of the map, you bypass the leveling zones below level 9, and head straight for the deepest part of the newbie village, to the level 10 zone. Relying on your memories of the map, you bypass the areas below level 9 and arrive at the deepest part of the village. The level 10 grinding spot is a massive valley, where level 10 mobs called barbarian bears roam. Barbarian bears have high HP and defense, but they are slow. With your skills, you can easily pull the bears one by one. Because of your superior range, you don't need to take any risks at all. You enter the valley and head straight to a towering cliff nearby. From here, you can overlook the entire barbarian bear habitat, and the distance to the bears below is within 1,000 meters. You unequip the beginner bow and put on the Silver Moon longbow, drawing and firing in one fluid motion. An arrow lands precisely on a barbarian bear. The barbarian bear takes 6,011 damage with just one shot. The health bar above its head is instantly depleted. Killed barbarian bear. Gained 180 EXP. You draw your bow again and aim at the next barbarian bear. You kill the barbarian bear and gain 180 EXP. For the rest of the time, you become a ruthless precision shooting machine. Every single shot takes down a barbarian bear. Before long, you reach level 5. As soon as you hit level 5, a game notification rings in your ears.
You may visit the village chief of Novus Village number 3 to claim a unique quest.
It's here.
Overjoyed, you immediately crush a teleport scroll, returning to the novice village to find the village chief.
I happen to have a very important task that requires your assistance.
Are you willing to help me?
I am. Excellent. I knew I wasn't mistaken about you. There is a lava demon in the volcano to the west. I need you to defeat it and seal it away using this scroll.
You have triggered the unique hidden quest, Volcano Demon. Quest's description: deep within Mount Seal, located at the westernmost edge of the Land of Beginnings, dwells a lava demon. Take the sealing scroll and seal the demon. Time limit: 3 days. Checking the time, there are only 10 minutes left of your 8-hour limit. You immediately log off on the spot. As a unique quest, once you accept, no one else can pick it up from the village chief. Removing your gaming helmet after playing all night, you were starving and immediately cooked a bowl of instant noodles. After eating, you fell straight asleep. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, it was already midnight. A flash of light. You log back in. With a flash of light, you reappear in the village chief's house where you previously logged off. You check your game time, since you have 16 minutes remaining from your last session. Your available playtime this time is 8 hours and 16 minutes. The maximum accumulated playtime is 16 hours. It won't increase beyond that. After logging in, that unique quest is still there. During the day, you had already carefully reviewed the strategy for this unique quest, so you already know exactly what to do. But before that, you have more important things to attend to. You've reached level 5, meeting the requirements to upgrade your general skill. Every class learns a basic general skill upon being chosen. The archer's basic general skill is single heavy arrow, which can be upgraded into double heavy arrow. You head to the archer instructor in the village and spend 100 copper coins to upgrade single heavy arrow to double heavy arrow. Then you open your friends list and see your only friend, Yao Yao Gets Carsick, is online. You immediately message her. I've got a quest that needs a healer. Want to join? Meanwhile, at the level 4 wild boar grinding spot, Yao Yao Gets Carsick is leaning against a tree out of boredom, fiddling with her novice scepter. Not far from her, the thief Ghost Shadow's daggers are moving so fast, they leave after images. The chime of an in-game message startles Yao Yao. It's double shot. Yao Yao, who had been bored out of her mind, immediately beamed with joy. She replied to your message instantly. Sure. I'd be more than happy to do quests with a pro like you.
Great. Send me your coordinates. I'll come find you.
Yao Yao sent her coordinates over immediately. Tracking the coordinates, you soon arrived at her location.
Over here! Over here!
The young girl was ecstatic to see you, waving her fair arms and jumping for joy.
Grinding here is too slow. I'll take you somewhere faster.
Without a word, you immediately sent Yao Yao a party invite.
Okay, I'm coming with you.
Without a second thought, Yao Yao left her brother's party and joined your side instead. You, who was busy clashing with a wild boar, didn't notice a thing until he finished off the boar and noticed something was off with the EXP, only then realizing his sister was gone.
Yao Yao, where did she go?
Yao Yao, where are you? Why did you leave without saying anything?
I've already joined Double Shot's party. We're heading to a high-level grinding spot. What?
Yao Yao, you're still young. Watch out for creeps. Listen to me.
Come back, now.
Shadow got anxious. Even though it was just a game, he wasn't about to let his sister get taken advantage of.
No way. I have to give that double shot a warning.
Huh? How can he be not found?
That bastard. He never even accepted my friend request. War rush.
You took Yao Yao to the Barbarian Bear Valley, a grinding spot you knew all too well.
Great God, are you taking me to fight level 10 mobs? Can we even handle them?
You simply smiled in silence. Standing on high ground, you drew your bow. Barbarian Bear HP minus 6,217. Arrows flew out, and the Barbarian Bear below died instantly.
You've killed a Barbarian Bear, gained 75 EXP. You've absorbed a soul fragment, +1. Attack power +1. Attack range +1.
Yao Yao, witnessing everything from the side, had her mouth open wide enough to fit an egg. She had imagined many ways you kill the mobs, but never thought you'd snipe a Barbarian Bear from hundreds of meters away.
He's so powerful. Way stronger than my brother.
You didn't pay any mind to Yao Yao's shock. Instead, you drew your Silver Moon longbow and began rapid firing. One Barbarian Bear provides 75 EXP, but you need 6,000 to level up. It's quite a grind. To finish the unique quest quickly, you'll need a priest support. Sharing EXP to get her to level 5 as soon as possible is essential. Under your rapid fire sniping, Yao Yao's EXP bar began to fill at a rate visible to the naked eye, soaring until it finally maxed out.
Great God, I hit level 5!
Yao Yao's head was spinning. Level 5 already. Yesterday, her brother swung his daggers like a whirlwind and wasn't even this fast. Yao Yao's words didn't slow your pace. You kept picking off the Barbarian Bears below.
Since you're free, go down and loot the drops.
On it, Yao Yao chirped in acknowledgement and headed down into the valley. Last time, you were too busy turning in quests to loot. But this time, you couldn't let it go to waste. Level 10 gear might not sell well just yet, but the copper coins were cold, hard cash. Standing atop the valley, you continued to snipe. Yao Yao was already busy down below. Under your rapid fire, the brood bears below were cleared out once again. Just as you were about to leave, Yao Yao let out a startled cry. Great God, a boss spawned! You were overjoyed at the news. Your gaze quickly locked onto the massive figure that had just spawned in the valley. Yao Yao, who was busy looting equipment, immediately sent the boss's info over.
It's a bronze tier boss. I'm sharing its stats now.
Skills, Brute Bear Roar, Earth Stomp, and Savage Charge. As expected of a level 10 bronze boss, its stats are absolutely insane. Normally, ordinary players wouldn't even be able to break its defense. With stats this explosive, ordinary players wouldn't stand a chance of dealing damage. Fortunately, your attack power has already reached 6,452, without considering damage reduction. A single arrow can shave off over 4,000 of its HP.
Step aside. I'll take on this boss myself.
You send a message to Yao Yao, then immediately activated the Silver Moon Longbow's active skill, Silver Moon Revelry. Active effect. Attack speed increased to 200% for 10 seconds. Cooldown, 1 hour. Your base fire rate is roughly 1 arrow every 2 seconds, but with the Silver Moon Longbow's active skill enabled, you can fire over 10 times within 10 seconds. On top of that, you can use archer skills to deal burst damage with a double shot. Double heavy arrow fires 2 heavy arrows at a single target simultaneously. Each arrow deals 150% attack damage. Mana cost 20. Cooldown 8 seconds. According to the skill description, this skill can deal 12,000 damage to the Brute Bear Guardian. You lead with a basic attack, then immediately chain your skill, double heavy arrow, followed by Silver Moon Revelry for a frenzy of rapid fire. Once the 10-second cooldown is over, you cast double heavy arrow again. Hiding in Bear Valley, Yao Yao watched as the Bear Guardian's head was suddenly covered by a flood of damage numbers. Then its health bar plummeted like water through an open flood until it was completely drained.
Wait, an insta-kill.
I've reached level 8.
She thought insta-killing a black iron boss was the limit for a pro, but he could even one-shot a bronze boss. At that moment, a system notification chimed in your ear.
Congratulations on defeating the bronze tier boss, the Bear Guardian. You have reached level 8. As the first player in the server to achieve a bronze tier boss first kill, your prestige increases by 30, and you've received 1 top tier gold equipment choice box. You have gained 30 free attribute points, and 1 general skill book for your chosen profession. Your heroic deeds will be spread throughout the Star Source continent.
Do you wish to hide your name?
No.
Server-wide announcement. Players double kill, and Yao Yao gets carsick. Are the first players to defeat a level 10 bronze boss.
The announcement echoed across the entire server once again. Players grinding monsters everywhere instantly lost their minds. Are you kidding me? A level 10 bronze boss. Meanwhile, at the wild boar leveling spot, Phantom Shadow, who was busy messaging his sister, was also stunned. He thought his sister had been tricked, but it turns out she really was leveling up. And they even took down a bronze boss.
Once could be a fluke, but twice means real talent. But this kid, he basically abducted my sister.
Yao Yao, where are you guys now?
I'm coming over to see.
Brother, you don't need to come. I've already followed the pro back to the village. He's going to help me level up my priest skill.
Back in the newbie village, you take Yao Yao to the priest train and level up her heal spell. After the upgrade, you hand over a piece of equipment dropped by the bronze boss to her. Kyosamo necklace, black iron grade. Plus 10 MP plus 30% mana recovery speed. This will massively boost Yao Yao's sustain. It'll be a huge help for the unique quest you're about to tackle.
Guardian leather armor, silver grade. Equipable skill, Earth Guardian. Survive the first fatal blow with 1 GP remaining.
This is incredibly useful for you. It makes your squishy build a bit more durable. Besides the gear, the Great Bear Guardian dropped over 600 copper coins, and you gave half to Yao Yao.
Following a pro is the best life ever!
After splitting the boss loot, you immediately use the Universal Skill Selection Tome. Since it's a choose-your-own book, you unhesitatingly choose the Universal Skill, Split Arrow. Target passive on. After an arrow hits, it splits into 3 phantom arrows that automatically attack the nearest targets, each dealing 80% of your ATK as physical damage. The phantom arrow's search range is 50% of your range. Toggling has a 1s cooldown, and no mana cost. This is the only AoE skill an archer can get before level 10, and it's a very practical toggleable passive. It's perfect for your current situation, as the player crowds aren't as dense as they were at launch. You can no longer rely on an army of players to work for you. Right now, other players' kill speed can't even match your single target snipe. Split arrow is exactly what you need. After choosing your skill, you open the gold grade gear selection box. Currently, you are only level 8, but most of the gear in the gold grade selection box requires level 10 to equip. You browse through the options and finally settle on a ring. Swift ring, quality, gold.
Using skills or attacks at intervals of no more than 3 seconds. Grants a stack of swift power. Each stack increases attack speed by 10%, up to 8 stacks. In other words, as long as I maintain the rhythm, I'll be over twice as fast as usual.
This ring is definitely worth it.
Combine that with the Silver Moon Longbow's active skill, Silver Moon Carnival, and your attack speed will soar to 400% for 10 seconds. With this kind of burst potential, no boss at this stage can possibly survive it. After equipping the Swift Ring and stocking up on 2,000 arrows at the weapon shop, you lead Yao Yao toward the village exit. It's time to complete that unique quest. Shortly after the two of you left, Yu Ying returned in a hurry, rushing back into the village. He searched for a long time but couldn't find any sign of his sister.
Body, where are you?
What's the matter?
1 arrow, 2 birds. Give me back my sister. Oh my god!
Outside the village, you and Yao Yao head west as a party. On the way, you one-shot every mob you see with a single arrow, ignoring all the dropped gear and copper coins. You're only doing it to stack your talent.
If only my brother were here. He's really fast. He can pick up loot without slowing us down at all.
You're taken aback. Hearing Yao Yao say that gave you an idea. Shadow might not have other skills, but his ability to run is top tier.
My range has been increasing lately, so I always have to travel a long way to pick up loot. If I have to run a 1 kilometer round trip every time, it would be a huge waste of time.
But what if I had someone dedicated to picking up loot for me?
Yao Yao, where is your brother now?
Him. He's in the beginner village. Why?
Send him the coordinates and tell him to come over.
Okay. Coordinates sent.
Alright, let's keep moving. With Shadow's speed, he'll catch up in no time.
Sure enough, in less than 5 minutes, Yao Yao tells you her brother has arrived. You stop in your tracks as you spot a dark figure in the distance, rushing toward you at incredible speed. Shadow's legs were moving so fast, they left after images. He didn't want to stop for even a second.
You little brat, stay away from my sister.
Or don't blame me for what happens!
Before Shadow could even finish his sentence, a wooden sword struck a Fong not far away. Fong HP minus 6,841. Holy crap! Shadow's eyes nearly popped out, although he had seen your damage before. You were only dealing less than 4,000 back then. Now it's nearly 7,000, after just one day. How did this guy become even more ridiculous?
What did you just say?
I couldn't hear you from that far.
What I meant was, Great One, did you need something from me? I mean, Great One, why did you call me over?
Oh, here's the deal. Yao Yao said you're really fast. So I wanted to ask if you could help me pick up loot from a distance. I can't keep up with it myself.
What? Pick up loot? I'm the future king of thieves with an SSS rank challenge. No way. I'm not happy about this. I'm not doing it.
We'll split the profits 50-50 once we sell the looted gear.
No way. That's impossible.
Deal.
Party invite.
Sis. Love you, sis.
Besides, having just witnessed his insane damage when he said he couldn't keep up with looting, Shadow actually believed it. At this stage of Star Source, the demand for gear is massive. With strong backing from governments worldwide, the game has become incredibly popular. Yet the drop rates in the game are notoriously abysmal. This has left the majority of players, even now, without a single decent piece of gear to their name. Even a top-tier expert like you is still wearing novice cloth armor. You can imagine just how terrible this game's drop rate really is. Shadow felt that to give her sister a better life, swallowing her pride and working a bit harder was a small price to pay. With Shadow on the team, you didn't waste any time, advancing while picking off every monster in your path. Along the way, you finally witnessed Shadow's movement speed, which was surprisingly even faster than yours. Keep in mind, with your current gear boosts, your agility has reached 68 points. Normally, a stat like this would be comparable to a level 10 full agility rogue.
Her movements are even faster than I expected. She's only level 4. Yet at this speed, she's looting every single piece of gear without missing a beat. What exactly is her talent? But one thing is certain. If she focuses entirely on running away, hardly anyone would be able to catch up to her.
While you were busy being surprised, Shadow was already overjoyed. Even though Star Source's drop rate is low, your kill speed is simply too insane. Through sheer volume of kills, a decent amount of gear is naturally dropping.
This basic staff is worth 80 copper. I'll buy Yao Yao a durian with it. Another weapon drop. This one's worth 120 copper. That's a grilled fish feast for Yao Yao. Whoa, boots! Sold. That covers Yao Yao's late night snack.
Fighting as they went, the trio finally reached the westernmost volcanic zone of the newbie village.
Since you carry the sealed scroll, you have drawn the attention of Calder, the volcanic demon.
You will suffer continuous fire damage while inside the volcanic zone. The closer you get to the heart of the volcano, the stronger the burn effect.
In my past life, the strategy for this volcanic demon had been thoroughly researched. Luckily, I have a priest in the party, Yao the healer. And now, we have Shadow with us too. Clearing this dungeon will be a breeze.
Shadow, go pull those flame imps in the volcanic area ahead.
No problem.
Yao Yao, keep an eye on him.
Got it! Don't worry, great god!
After giving orders to the two, he stepped back to exit the volcanic zone. As he retreated, the damage numbers floating above his head instantly vanished. Shadow then charged into the volcanic zone with full confidence.
A moment later, a figure dashed out from behind the volcanic rocks.
With a trail of black smoke coming off his backside.
I'm cooked! I'm cooked! Help me!
These flame imps are range casters! Yao Yao, save me!
A green light surged, instantly topping off Shadow's HP bar. The upgraded heal was leagues better than the basic version. Shadow was clearly stunned by Yao Yao's massive healing output, that he almost got clipped by a fireball from behind. Just then, an arrow streaked in from the distance, landing precisely on the lead imp. After the arrow struck the imp, the arrow split into 3, instantly one-shotting the 3 imps nearby. In less than a second, 11 imps were wiped out on the spot. Before the remaining imps could even react, another strike landed. The scene instantly fell silent. Shadow stared at you from a distance in shock. All this time, he thought he had given you enough credit, but now he realized he'd still underestimated you.
Has he always been this overpowered?
You mean God double kill? He's always been this monstrous.
I clearly have an SS rank talent too, so why do I feel so outclassed?
The mobs have all been cleared. Next, we need to lure the boss out from inside the volcano. After giving a few instructions, you send Shadow to pull the boss. Although the flame demon Calder is a world boss, he has a specific tether range, so kiting him out of the area is unrealistic. But you're different. Your range is already over 7,000 meters. That's enough to span the entire Jir volcano. As long as Calder dares to show his face, you can one-shot him. Shadow's only job as the utility man was to bait Calder out. A low rumble echoed from within the Gur volcano, followed by a plume of thick smoke. Amidst the chaos, a massive figure rose from the central magma.
I'm immortal! You dare disturb the great Calder's slumber?
Flame Demon Calder, Silver Rank Boss. Skills: Flame Roar, Demon Summon, Magma Eruption. Calder's voice boomed like a bell, making the entire Jir volcano tremble. Even the players grinding far away heard the commotion. In an instant, the regional channel exploded with excitement.
He looks much stronger than the Bear Guardian. Actually, only his HP bar is impressive. He's no longer a threat to me.
The moment he appears, you open with a basic attack followed by double heavy arrow. In the distance, Flame Demon Calder roars incessantly, but he is unable to leave the volcano's core area, so he can only vent his fury upon the ground. Calder slams his massive palms onto the earth, shattering the surrounding volcanic rocks into pieces, even caving in a large section of the ground. After a few arrows, your attack speed begins to ramp up. Seeing this, you immediately activate the Silver Moon Longbow's active skill, Silver Moon Carnival. Attack speed doubled. In an instant, the arrows in your hand suddenly accelerate. At an absolutely insane rate of fire, you rain down attacks upon Flame Demon Calder. A flurry of damage numbers pops up over the Flame Demon's head, and his HP bar plummets like an open floodgate. Watching from the side, Ghostly Shadow is stunned. In less than half a minute, the Flame Demon's health bar is completely depleted.
I refuse to accept this! Lord Lawrence, I have failed!
You have successfully defeated Flame Demon Calder. Please steal his demon core as soon as possible.
The demon core hovers by the corpse, pulsating with a sinister fiery light. You grab the sealing scroll and slam it onto the demon core. You have successfully sealed the Flame Demon. Quest complete. Looking at the complete status next to the unique quest, you can't help but feel a surge of excitement. This first kill dropped 2 pieces of gold grade equipment and 1 gold grade item. Demon Wand, gold grade. Active. Summon imps. Summons 3 flame imps to fight by your side. Scaling with your mana. Mana burn passive triggered. Casting costs double mana, but increases spell power to 130% of its base value. Clearly, this is top tier equipment for a turret mage. The summoned imps can serve as tanks, and with mana burn, it further boosts damage output. Demon's Collar, gold grade. Active demon form immunity. Removes all debuffs upon activation. Cooldown, 1 hour. Passive, blood burn. Once equipped, max HP is reduced to 90%, but resistance increases by 50. Besides the gear, there's also a gold grade item. Demon's Whisper, gold grade. Consumable. Confuses a designated enemy for 5 seconds. This item will be a huge help for what you have planned next. That's when you notice the area outside the volcano is already packed with players. A burly, middle-aged man with a thick beard steps out from the crowd.
Were you the ones fighting this boss just now?
Shadow and Yao Yao remain silent, turning their eyes toward you. This sight makes Domination Blade realize the situation instantly.
It seems this trio is led by one arrow, 2 birds.
Brother Two Birds, interested in joining our Batian guild? I'll give you the position of Hall Master.
As soon as he says this, the surrounding crowd erupts in gasps.
Offering Brother Two Birds a Hallmaster spot right away.
I think you shouldn't call yourself Domination Blade. Call yourself One Cheap Cut instead.
The crowd gasps again. It's the leader of the Yushen Guild, Yushen Dangtian.
1 arrow, 2 birds. If you join our Yushen Guild, I'll personally make you our first elder. If you perform well, I can even promote you to vice leader.
The vice president.
In my past life, the Yushen Guild was truly disgusting, colluding with evil gods. The bloody scenes of them betraying players are still vivid in my mind.
And now you actually have the nerve to invite me to join.
How ridiculous.
If you didn't have to head back to turn in the quest, you'd flag for PK right now, and one-shot Yushen Dangtian instantly.
Sorry everyone, I have no plans to join a guild at the moment.
You accepted Bai Tian Yidao's friend request and crushed the teleport scroll. Seeing you teleport back without even glancing at the Yushen Guild, Yushen Dangtian's face immediately darkened. As the crowd dispersed, news of double kill slaying the boss again, and rejecting top guild's invitation spread like wildfire on the forums. Naturally, you had no time for that. By now, you were already back at the village. Village chief, I've completed the quest. The village chief took the item and glanced at it.
I knew you were a true warrior. This is your well-deserved reward.
Ding! You've completed the unique quest, Volcano Demon. You've obtained the unique item, Angel Wings. Angel Wings can be soul bound. Once bound, you can fly freely by controlling the wings. Upgradable. That coveted unique equipment from your previous life. Only the first person to complete the unique quest could obtain it. With a mere thought, the wings on your back quivered slightly, and you soared into the sky. The players questing nearby all cried out in amazement. Overjoyed by your first flight experience, half an hour passed before you finally landed, albeit reluctantly. Congratulations, you have reached level 10. You felt a bit dazed. In your past life, reaching level 10 took you about 10 whole days. But in this life, it only took him 2 days to reach level 10. Server announcement. A player has reached level 10. The level leaderboard is now open. The server-wide announcement left everyone stunned once again.
Are you kidding me?
I'm only level 4, and someone is already level 10.
How can the gap be this huge? You've got to be joking. I'm only level 4.
Level 4, and someone is already level 10.
Is there really such a massive gap? Oh, it's the Great God double shot. Whoa. Then never mind. That explains it.
At a level 6 grinding spot, Yushen's expression was looking very grim.
The threat from this double shot guy is too great. If I can make him mine, I'll destroy him.
Hey,
go and do a thorough investigation on him. If he really doesn't know what's good for him.
Don't worry, guild leader. I'll take care of it.
You send a screenshot of the demon wand to Batian Yidao. Although there is an auction house in Star Source, it charges a 10% fee. It's better to save that money if you can. Shortly after you send a screenshot, Batian Yidao replied,
I'll give you 100,000 copper coins for it. Name a place, and we'll trade directly.
Send someone to the entrance of the novice village to trade.
Before long, a young man named Batian Xiaozuanfeng ran over. He was exceptionally polite upon seeing you, and the trade was quickly complete. Batian Xiaozuanfeng didn't dare leave the village, heading straight for the warehouse in the center of the village. From now on, you can finally focus on stacking your talent. First, you flew over the level 0 rabbits, and relying on your extreme attack range and the AoE damage of split arrow, you cleared out all the rabbits in the entire grinding zone in less than 2 minutes. Then, following the same method, you cleared the level 1 grinding spots once more. Meanwhile, you also contacted Yao Yao gets carsick and gave her a set of coordinates, telling her to bring her brother, Phantom Shadow, and wait there. After flying all the way, you reached your destination. By then your talent stacks had already exceeded 10,000. When you descended from the sky in front of Yao Yao and Phantom Shadow, the siblings' eyes nearly popped out of their heads. The group soon arrived at a location near where the flame demon was previously slain. Inside a small valley formed by volcanic ash, you took out the sealing scroll previously processed by the village chief.
Green demon detected in this area. 试过使用封印卷轴开启传送界面。
Activate.
Player killed 2 birds with 1 stone has unlocked the dungeon, Demon's Breath. All players level 5 and above can now enter the dungeon for adventure.
Less than half a minute after the dungeon opened, a message notification popped up from your friend list.
Brother, our guild wants to take the first clear of this dungeon. Could you give us a hand? Brother, our guild wants to take the first clear of this dungeon. Could you give us a hand? Just name your price.
Sure, but I get to distribute all the loot found in the dungeon.
And you'll owe me another 100,000 copper coins afterward.
No problem. Batian Yidao agreed without a second thought. As long as they got the first clear, the publicity from the server-wide announcement was worth more than any amount of advertising money. While Batian Yidao was on his way, other players grinding nearby started to arrive. When they saw the 3 of you, they quickly recognized who you were.
A few attractive female players immediately came over to introduce themselves.
Batian Yidao didn't keep you waiting long. In order not to let the first clear slip away, to be snatched by other guilds, he quickly arrived with 8 of his guild members. He invited Yu Naiyao and the Batian guild members into the party.
Once we're in the dungeon, everyone follows my lead. I guarantee we'll secure the first kill smoothly.
Boy, I've already briefed them. If anyone disobeys, just kick them from the party.
Rick got double kill. I'm not even in the party yet.
The Batian guys can loot items. I don't need you for now.
With that, you led the way into the dungeon, leaving Shadow standing there in a daze.
Fine, you bastard double kill, running off with my sister again.
This is driving me crazy!
Entering the dungeon, Demon's Breath. Please select the difficulty. Hell difficulty selected. Teleporting in progress.
Following the game prompt, your party instantly entered the hell-level Demon's Breath dungeon. The moment you entered, a wave of scorching heat blasted toward you, leaving everyone feeling uneasy. At this moment, the Batian guild members also sensed something was wrong.
Wait, why are we in a hell level dungeon?
Brother, double kill. This is hell difficulty.
The items I need only drop in hell difficulty.
At that, Batian Yidao immediately shut his mouth, but the other Batian guild members couldn't hold back anymore. They stayed quiet outwardly, but the private chat was exploding with complaints.
What the hell is Double Kill doing?
They stayed quiet outwardly, but the private chat was exploding with complaints.
What the hell is Double Kill doing?
We haven't even cleared it once and he picks the highest difficulty? Is he kidding?
Let's just try. Since he dared to pick this, he must be confident.
Hearing Batian Yidao say this, the others had no choice. He had no choice but to keep his mouth shut for now. Naturally, you have no idea that the Batian guild members are gossiping about you in their private chat. Your attention is now focused on the dungeon's details. It's not like you haven't run the hell-level Demon's Breath dungeon in your past life. It's just that you were defeated before reaching the final boss back then. That boss heavily counters melee classes, preventing you from showing your true strengths and eventually leading to a team wipe. Things are different now. You grip the silver moon longbow in your hand and speak to the player in the group dressed as a rogue.
Rogue, go ahead and pull the mobs. Healer, keep an eye on his HP. The rest of you, get ready to pick up the loot.
A rogue pulling? Shouldn't a full tank warrior be the one taking the damage?
Alright then. They are, after all, elite members of the Batian Guild. Despite their dissatisfaction with the hell-level difficulty and your strange commands, the mechanical skill of all team members is still top-notch. Pouring, kiting and healing, the entire process was executed flawlessly. The rogue who dashed out has now attracted a large crowd of demons. These humanoid demons roared and charged at him the moment they spotted him. The rogue looks tense. These demons have high attack but low defense. If he accidentally takes a couple of hits, he'll be dead on the spot. The team's tanky warrior is about to step up to absorb damage, only to see you draw your bow. 3 arrows in a single second. With the combination of double heavy arrow and split arrow, massive damage numbers instantly pop up above the molten demon's head. Every single hit deals over 10,000 damage. In an instant, the 7 or 8 molten demons chasing the rogue are wiped out, leaving behind nothing but a pile of loot and copper coins. Everyone present froze in shock. What on earth just happened? Over 10,000 damage. A total one shot. Even Batian Yidao watched in silence. He knew you were strong, but he didn't expect you to be this powerful. Regardless, your strength finally put everyone's mind at ease. Your power is truly reassuring.
What are you waiting for? Go pick up the loot, quick.
Everyone finally snapped out of it, and the tanky warrior was the first to rush forward and gather the dropped equipment. Meanwhile, the rogue players continue to roam and pull more mobs, luring out all the molten demons. In less than a minute, you cleared out all the molten demons at the valley entrance. This farming efficiency left even the elite team of the Batian Guild, who had seen it all, clicking their tongues in awe.
I don't need this gear. Just name your price.
Batian Yidao was straightforward, pricing them based on gold tier equipment rates, and offered a fair price. You didn't haggle much over it, and the group moved forward, soon arriving outside the cavern. Entering the cavern, a pack of demons hanging from the ceiling caught everyone's attention. You raised your hand for a shot, followed by a double heavy arrow, combined with split arrow and then chained into basic attacks, instantly killing the nearest cluster of gargoyle demons. Once again, everyone was left reeling from the display.
If every dungeon run could be like this, it would be freaking awesome!
Whoa, Brother Yijian is so amazing!
As they headed deeper, they soon discovered 3 tunnel openings ahead. You knew the middle tunnel led to the boss, while the ones on the left and right held the activation switches. Without hesitation, you entered the cave on the left. After walking for less than 3 minutes, the path suddenly opened up, and a massive underground cavern appeared before everyone. In the very center of the cavern stood a majestic flame altar. A petrified demon stood in the middle of the altar. Behind it was a lever shaped like a wrench. To enter the boss room, you must flip that switch. The only thing connecting the entrance to the altar is a long suspension bridge, with an endless abyss of darkness beneath it. This stage requires someone to cross the bridge to the altar. Once the demon awakens, it will destroy the bridge. Thus, the person who goes over, unless they can kill the demon before the bridge is destroyed, will surely die. The rogue player, who was pulling monsters earlier, stepped forward and said, "I'll do it."
I have high movement speed, so I might be able to kite it for a bit.
I'll do it. I'm fast, so I might be able to kite it.
You nodded, signaling him to show what he's got. Seeing this, the rogue player immediately rushed toward the central altar. The moment he crossed the suspension bridge and stepped onto the altar, a low, muffled roar echoed in everyone's ears.
The great flame demon Lord Laurent is not to be disturbed by the likes of you!
The statue instantly came to life, and at the same time, raging flames ignited around him. Demon Guard chanted, level 10.
The distance is too great. Can the great god even reach the demon?
As soon as he said this, everyone was stunned. While everyone was worrying, you had already drawn your bow. An ordinary wooden arrow was notched on the silver moon longbow, then shot out with a sharp whistle. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the arrow, until it stalked the Demon Guard. Demon Guard HP minus 1248.
The damage numbers are up.
He can hit it.
Vile insects, come and face me!
Under your onslaught, the Demon Guard lasted less than 8 seconds before biting the dust. As the boss fell, a shower of gear dropped. Fortunately, the rogue player in charge of pulling aggro hadn't died, and by now, he had already swiftly scooped up all the loot. You completely ignored several useless pieces of black iron and silver gear, but kept one silver scepter. The stats on this silver piece were pretty mediocre, but the resurrection skill it came with was extremely useful.
Give that scepter to Yao Yao.
Got it.
When the little girl received the silver gear, her head spun with excitement. Such top-tier gear, and the expert didn't even blink before giving it to her just like that.
Once activated, the target is granted a resurrection state.
It's actually a skill like this. So strong.
After distributing the gear and having the rogue player pull the switch, you led everyone back to the original 3-way intersection, and chose the path on the far right, just like the previous guard altar. This was also an altar guarded by a demon guard. Just like the previous guard altar, this was also an altar guarded by a demon guard. Repeating the trick, you slayed the guard before he could destroy the rope bridge. This time, a few more silver items and a pile of black iron gear dropped. But none of this gear was of any use to you, so you had Batian Yidao buy them all out. With both altar switches now activated, your group was finally about to face the final boss, following the middle cave. All the way down, after a short while, the party arrived at an underground cavern that was several times larger than the previous 2 underground spaces. Unlike the others, there was no altar in this cavern, and no demons either, only a flight of stone steps. Leading down from the cave entrance was a churning pit of scorching lava. In the middle of the magma sat a massive demonic head, with eyes shut tight. It was the boss of this dungeon, Laurent, the flame demon. Around the magma's edge were small platforms, barely large enough for 3 or 4 people. Aside from those, there was no other solid ground to stand on. In your past life, you stood on these tiny platforms to take on the boss. But back then, you were a warrior, and your reach was just too short. Even when playing at your absolute peak, you still couldn't escape the boss's lava bombardment.
In this life, the tables have turned.
Someone go and pull the boss!
No way. It's too cramped down there. I won't have room to maneuver.
I'll do it. Ultimately, the other archer in the party took on the task. He descended the stone steps to the bottom and hit the demon's head with a double heavy arrow. But it only dealt a measly 5 damage to the boss. 2 single-digit red numbers drifted up from the demon's head, leaving the archer feeling quite embarrassed. Compared to your 5-figure damage numbers, his damage was practically pathetic. Batian Yidao felt the sting of humiliation as well. He stole a glance at you, only relaxing when he saw you hadn't reacted. Having taken damage, the slumbering boss finally awoke.
I will make you pay the price.
With a low roar, the demon slowly emerged from the magma. Unlike the massive form you fought outside earlier, this time Laurent the Flame Demon was only about 5 meters tall, but his stats were significantly higher than before. This time Laurent the Flame Demon was only about 5 meters tall, but his stats were significantly higher than before. Flame Demon Laurent, Silver Tier Boss, Level 10, Demon King Form. Skills, Flame Roar, Summon Demon, Lava Burst. Giant's physique, reborn from flames. When the flame demon's insane stats were revealed to everyone fell silent.
Is this thing even beatable?
We're all going to die here. Don't talk nonsense, but look at it.
Everyone turned to look at you, only to see you had already drawn your bow. An arrow flew from your hand, accurately striking the flame demon below. A massive minus 9,754 damage value popped up over the demon. You instantly drew the flame demon's aggro.
Damn bug! You made me angry!
Get out of the way! Yo!
Flames exploded, followed by screams. In the party UI, most of the teammate portraits instantly grayed out. Only Yao Yao, who was standing right next to you, survived. Everyone else, including Ba Tianyidao, was instantly killed. Hold on tight, you said to Yao Yao. Then, you flew toward the highest point of the cavern. Yao Yao was scared to death, gripping your arm tightly with both hands. You flew her to the very top of the cave. A full 500 meters away from the demon in the lava. At this distance, none of the flame demon's attacks could reach you. You immediately raised your bow and began sniping at the roaring demon below. Unable to reach you, the flame demon could only roar in futile rage, smashing the lava and sending it flying everywhere. Meanwhile, the Betian Guild's private chat was blowing up.
What the hell is that damage? I'm a full HP warrior, and I actually got one shot.
Can God Feng Yao beat the boss?
He's not dead yet. He's still fighting.
All buffs active. Silver Moon Carnival. Let's go.
The final blessing. Let the light protect you. Succeed.
I will. After Yao Yao applied the resurrection status to you, the flame demon unleashed a full-screen ultimate. With no survival skills, Yao Yao's HP was instantly wiped out. But this bought you a precious window for DPS, as you maneuvered through the air like a phantom. At this moment, Laurent was like a lion in a fit of rage. After that, none of Laurent's attacks could touch you. You began kiting him with your agile movement. Laurent's HP continued to plummet, finally reaching the boss's execution threshold. Without hesitation, you charged up and landed the final blow. The wiped out team couldn't help but worry about you, but before they could respawn, a game notification rang in their ears.
Your team has successfully cleared the dungeon.
Cleared a hell-level dungeon. No way.
Killing two birds with one stone. Yao Yao gets carsick. And Ba Tianyidao are the first players to clear the hell-level dungeon, Demon's Breath. Their achievement will be recorded throughout the Star Source continent.
The server-wide announcement left Ba Tianyidao and the others completely stunned. From the pool to their corpse run, only about 3 minutes had passed, yet the terrifying final boss had already been slain by you. This is way too fast. Meanwhile, in another normal level dungeon, Yushen Dangtian was leading the guild's elite squad, battling the final boss. Unlike the hell level version, normal difficulty bosses just stand on a large open field, and their stats are worlds apart. As long as you pull monsters properly, it won't be that difficult.
Guild leader. Looks like this first kill will go to our Yushen guild.
Exactly. A smirk appeared on Yushen Dangtian's horse-like face.
That idiot, Domineering Blade. He's probably still busy kissing one arrow, two birds' ass.
Players 1 arrow, 2 birds, and Domineering Blade Guild have achieved the first kill of Demon's Breath.
What? A nearby member's eyes widened as he shouted.
Guild leader, they cleared it on hell difficulty.
Guild leader, they cleared it on hell difficulty.
The elite team members mid-fight were shocked, and their movements involuntarily hesitated for a second. As a result, the Berserk boss instantly one-shotted several squishy classes, then turned around and crushed the tank. With the situation spiraling out of control, the entire team was soon wiped out. At the dungeon entrance, Yushen Dangtian's face was livid, as he gripped a teammate's face and growled.
Who told you to shout so damn loudly? Guild leader, I was wrong. Oh.
Ding! You have slain the silver boss, Flame Demon Calder. You gain 0 experience. You curled your lip. After reaching level 10, you can only gain more ESP after completing the newbie trial and entering the main city. You stayed here partly for the dungeon's first clear reward, and partly for the hidden golden boss in the newbie village. The group's figures materialized at the dungeon entrance. You glanced at the gear in your inventory, then sold 1 piece of gold tier equipment and 4 silver tier pieces to Domineering Blade. As for yourself, you kept 2 pieces of equipment. Flame boots, gold grade, level 10, active, flame path, leaves a trail of flames behind you for 10 seconds. Any hostile targets standing on the flame path will take 50 burn damage per second, cooldown 1 hour. Hellstone necklace, gold grade, plus 50 mana, plus 20 resistance, plus 20% mana regen. Active, Hellfire ring, consumes 30% max mana to counter a defensive fire ring. Gives plus 100 resistance and blocks 100 ranged attack damage until the ring shatters.
Great God, 1 arrow. Thank you so much. We were so close. The first kill almost went to the Yushen Guild.
It's just a fair trade.
You said goodbye to Ba Tianyidao, and after giving Yao Yao some instructions, you logged off. Before logging off, you checked the rankings. You were still 1. In second place was Yao Yao. Because she had been following you, she gained massive XP and had already reached level 9. In third place was Shadow, who also followed you for a while. He is currently level 8. Taking off your helmet, you checked your bank balance on your phone. Seeing that 7-figure balance, a heartfelt smile finally appeared. Then, you spent 990,000 to pre-order a gaming pod online. Unlike a helmet, the pod allows for 2 extra hours of playtime. For other players, this might just mean a bit more XP. But for you, that's 2 more hours of stacking your talent. You couldn't afford it before, but now, you won't miss this chance. The staff were efficient. Shortly after you finished your meal, someone arrived to install it.
An hour later, the gaming pod was successfully installed.
With the pod ready, you can finally log back in. After logging in, you head straight to the village chief.
It's you.
Chief, I'm here for the novice trial.
Very well. What difficulty level would you like to attempt?
The results of this trial will directly impact your future growth. Please choose wisely.
The red warning text is glaring, but you couldn't care less. You focus on the selection panel that pops up. Hell difficulty, monster HP plus 6,400%, all attributes plus 300%.
I choose hell difficulty.
Hearing this, the smiling village chief's expression instantly shifts.
Young man, I urge you to reconsider.
I've made up my mind.
Seeing your resolve, the chief says no more and simply offers.
Good luck, child.
He activates the teleportation. A pale blue magic array races beneath your feet. A second later, you vanish from the village. In a flash of light, you find yourself in a dimly lit underground plaza. The plaza is vast, roughly the size of 2 football fields. As you stand at the edge, a system prompt rings out.
Player 1 arrow 2 birds. You are now undergoing the hell difficulty trial.
Your opponent, Glar the Berserker.
As the prompt ends, the berserker opposite you snaps his eyes open. His blood-red pupils lock onto you.
Are you the challenger? Glar the Berserker. Level 10. Skills. Berserker. Demon God's Blood Rage. Blood Stimulation.
Even though you were mentally prepared, you can't help but gulp after seeing Glar's terrifying stats.
The stats are indeed insane, but the plan should still work.
Even now, the sight makes your heart tremble. Fortunately, on the forums in your past life, someone had posted the stats for Berserker Glar, and they had figured out a way to deal with him, which was to exploit the Berserker's lack of ranged attacks. And the easiest way to do that is undoubtedly by flying. This is exactly why you had to obtain the angel wings. While you were momentarily stunned, a blood-red sword aura surged toward your face. You snapped out of it and dodged just in time.
Holy crap.
The sword aura carved a massive gash into the stone wall. You looked up to see Glar planting his greatsword in front of him, his face contorted with rage.
In the presence of the great Lord Glar. You still dare to be distracted?
With a grave expression, the phantom of angel wings suddenly appeared behind you. Then you soared upwards, reaching the very top of the underground plaza. By now, Berserker Glar had fully awakened, charging straight toward your position. But with the help of angel wings, you were already high in the air. The vertical distance between you was over 50 meters. You raised your hand and let loose a shot. Thanks to your hard work lately, your passive talent stacks have reached over 31,000. Firing this at Berserker Glar, the damage was quite lovely. You continue to draw your bow, unleashing a rain of arrows, only for them to be blocked by a casual wave of Glar's sword aura.
Insect! If you have any other tricks, show them all!
You continue to draw your bow, unleashing a rain of arrows, only for them to be blocked by a casual wave of Glar's sword aura.
Insect! If you have any other tricks, show them all!
Seeing that your attacks were ineffective, you immediately activated a skill. Silver Moon Carnival! Attack speed increased by 200%. Keep firing! Glar held his greatsword across his chest, blocking a barrage of arrows. However, some arrows still found their mark, dealing damage.
Are you just tickling Lord Glar?
You stood cold and silent, without saying a word. Your bowstring blurred into afterimages as a dense rain of arrows surged toward Glar, only to be swatted away casually by him.
Playtime is over! Rage!
With a thunderous roar, Glar activated his rage skill. You watch Glar with a grim expression. As he swings his sword, a massive wave of sword aura spanning the entire underground plaza surges towards you. You dodge frantically as the sword aura shatters the stone wall right behind you. You are struck with horror.
What the hell is this kind of power?
As Glar swings his sword repeatedly, countless blood-red waves of sword aura fly at you. You frantically flap your wings, dodging clumsily through the air, like a startled bird. You desperately evade the dense wall of sword energy. Every time the sword aura hits the stone walls, it sets off a thunderous boom. Seeing your pathetic state, Glar couldn't help but sneer.
What's wrong, little bug? Can't take it already?
You emerge from the rubble. Brushing the dust off your clothes, you say coldly.
Fine. Then let me show you my true power.
What kind of nonsense are you talking?
Moon Goddess.
With a loud shout, a silver-white magic circle envelops. The angel wings behind you fold toward the center, wrapping you into a silver-white cocoon.
2 seconds later.
The cocoon shatters into shimmering points of light.
Now, the game officially begins.
This is the Moon Goddess form, unlocked only by combining the Silver Moon Longbow and Angel Wings. It's your ultimate trump card as a reincarnator.
Spirit of the Moon.
Hear my call and respond!
This is the exclusive skill in the Moon Goddess descended state, Sunder. The skill deals true damage equal to 200% of your attack power, plus an additional 1/8 of the enemy's max HP. The arrow streaks toward Graal, who quickly raises his greatsword to block. The moon arrow collides with Graal's greatsword. It triggers a terrifying shockwave. As the smoke clears, Graal's HP bar has dropped by 3/4. You hover in the sky, watching him half kneeling on the ground, gasping for air. Your gaze is mocking.
What's wrong, Lord Graal? You're not as tough as you look.
Insect! You have some skill, but did you think you could defeat me that easily? I am Graal the Berserker! Ah! Insect! You have some skill. But did you think you could defeat me like this? I am Grawl the Berserker!
Your expression grows solemn. As a red pillar of light erupts, you draw your bow again to charge and fire another moon arrow. The light fades, revealing Grawl in a completely new form before you.
Surprised, aren't you? I have a second phase too.
This is Growl's passive skill, Demon God's Blood Fury. When Grawl takes a certain amount of damage, he transforms into his Demon God form. At this moment, your arrow is just about to hit. Grawl slams his greatsword into the ground. A pillar of fire erupts instantly, deflecting the moon arrow.
Seeing this, your eyes narrow. He's become even tougher to deal with.
Let's settle this with the next move.
You raise the silver moon longbow, drawing it to full power to charge.
Spirit of the moon, transform into a divine dragon.
Devour the enemy before you.
Counting to gather power, you fire a divine dragon condensed from the moon spirit. On the other side, Grail drops to one knee and begins chanting an ancient incantation.
Oh, Shepherd God,
grant me strength.
Grail raises his greatsword as a blood-red sword aura surges from the ground. Grail swings forward, colliding with the divine dragon, and the resulting energy storm instantly sweeps through the underground plaza. The dragon devours the sword aura, turning into a red and white shockwave, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and smoke. As the smoke clears, Grail is seen collapsed on the ground, wailing in agony.
I can't accept this!
Then, Grail's health bar hits 0, and his body dissipates into motes of light. A crown shimmering with prismatic colors slowly descends. You fly down to the ground. With a flash of silver light, you exit the moon deity state and return to your leather armor. Just as you're about to check the loot, the system notification rings in your ear.
Server-wide announcement. Player Double Eagle is the first to clear the Hell Level Novice Trial, earning the unique title, Star of Hope.
The server-wide announcement rings out 3 times, once again igniting a frenzy of discussion among all players. What's the deal with this novice trial? These rewards are insane! A hidden class selection, selectable growth equipment, and even skill select. I wouldn't even dare to dream of rewards like these. Can someone tell me just how strong God Double Eagle is right now? At this moment, even Yushin looks grim.
A person like him.
Can he really be destroyed?
Due to clearing the Hell level trial, your free attribute points per level up will be increased by 4x, and your reality projection rate is increased to 10%.
What?
The projection has actually triggered early.
What?
The projection has actually triggered early.
As a reincarnator, no one understands the significance of this projection scale better than you. All players' strength in Star Source will eventually manifest in the real world. You remember that once the first person reached the power level for class transfer projection, game monsters began to appear in reality. You wonder if your early projection will impact the real world.
Since it's out of your control, the only option is to become even stronger.
Holding your thoughts back, your gaze falls on the crown dropped by Gerald. Crown of the Titan God King, equip level 0, growth tier normal, skills. Titan's Heart, max HP plus 10%, HP recovery speed plus 10%, remaining locked skills, 4. After reading the item description, a surge of excitement rushes through you.
It's actually growth type equipment.
Without any hesitation, you immediately swap out the demon collar for the crown of the Titan God King. Your attributes receive a massive boost. Now, you open your character stat panel and compare it to when you had the demon collar equipped. Your HP has increased by nearly 1000, and your defense has roughly doubled. At this stage, most players can't even break through your armor.
Would you like to hide the equipment's appearance?
Hide.
After hiding the gear, you teleport out of the trial grounds. Upon exiting, you immediately see the village chief, his eyes wide with shock. You give him a wide grin.
Village chief.
I've passed the trial.
The village chief snaps back to reality, looking at you with a complex expression.
I never thought I'd see such a young hero in my lifetime. I admit, I underestimated you before.
As he spoke, a glimmer of hope flickered in the village chief's eyes.
In that case, there is something I would like your help with.
Newbie Village 23333 is commissioning a mythic level chain quest to you. Star Source, the past. Do you accept? Your expression froze in shock.
In my previous life, this mythic level quest was claimed by the only player who had cleared the nightmare level trial.
He was also the top player in Star Source. According to him, he had to use every ounce of persuasion to wheedle this quest out of the village chief.
But for me, the village chief requested my help himself. Hell level and nightmare level are indeed worlds apart.
Except, after making the selection, the village chief spoke once more.
I knew I wasn't mistaken about you. You really are a trustworthy individual.
In truth, our village's original mission was to seal away a sleeping demon. Even today, its heartbeat still echoes from deep underground.
Over millennia, the seal's strength has gradually waned. A demon has awakened and is on the verge of breaking through the seal.
The flame demon you were sent to seal in the west earlier was actually a byproduct of the demon's aura corrupting the volcanic lava. As the village chief continued his narrative, the game prompt rang out. Ding! The village chief of Newbie Village 2333 is issuing a mythic level chain quest to you. I, the sealed demon. Do you accept the quest? Ding! The village chief of Newbie Village 2333 is issuing a mythic level chain quest to you. I, the sealed demon. Do you accept the quest? Quest description. Defeat the demon and force it back into a deep slumber. Without hesitation, you accepted the quest again.
Take this token. It will guide you into the interior of the seal.
Ding, you have obtained Seal Key 1. Seal Key. Quest item description. Once used at a specific location in Newbie Village number 23333, you can enter a sealed dimension. After bidding the village chief farewell, you headed toward the coordinates specified by the key. The Newbie Village wasn't large. You reached its center in just a few moments. A statue with indistinct features stood there. Many players were setting up stalls around the statue, selling equipment and materials. Your arrival didn't attract much attention. As you approached the statue with the key, a system prompt popped up. You have arrived at the target location. Use the key to enter the sealed secret realm. Yes, the moment you confirmed, your body lit up with a blue glow.
A second later, you vanished on the spot.
Yeah? Did that guy just disappear?
What's so weird about that? He probably just used a teleport scroll.
With a flash of white light, you found yourself standing before a dark underground passage. Glowing stones were embedded along the walls of the passage. It was these faint light sources that prevented the passage from being pitch black. The passage led downward, and the air gradually grew warmer. After walking for a while, the view suddenly opened up. A massive underground plaza appeared before you. A faint golden light curtain enveloped the plaza, separating the interior from the outside world. In the very center of the plaza sat a massive cage, holding a thin, gaunt figure within. 3 spears emitting a faint golden glow were thrust into him, each one piercing through his body. They pinned the gaunt figure firmly to the ground. Is this the sealed demon? Just then, the thin figure seemed to sense your presence and slowly raised his head. You were momentarily stunned when you saw his appearance. In your mind, a demon should be a fierce-looking creature with horns, but the person before you didn't have any demonic traits at all.
Instead of that fierce-looking horns, he was clearly a human. You lackeys are truly dedicated. It's been over 1,000 years, yet you still haven't forgotten your master's instructions.
As you stood there dazed, he continued talking to himself.
You don't carry the scent of those lackeys. You are a new descender.
That's right, you're not a lackey, you're a descender. That's right, you're not a lackey, you're a descender. To think that Star Source has welcomed a descender once again.
A descender.
Lord Descender.
Lord Descender.
He muttered to himself, but his words sent shockwaves through your heart. Descender. You had heard this title countless times in your previous life.
The only ones who address players like that are the natives of Star Source. A Star Source native. In other words, he's not a demon at all, but a native of Star Source.
But why did the village chief say the sealed one was a demon?
Wait, could it be?
Your memories surged rapidly, and you soon unearthed the rumor you once heard in a dusty corner. Legend has it that in a certain secret realm, there is a stone tablet, on which a major event from 10,000 years ago is recorded, an event that changed the fate of the entire Star Source continent. This event can be summed up in just 8 characters. Alien invasion, racial annihilation. Recalling the deeds of the Star Source natives you'd heard of in your past life, they were indeed all encountered within secret realms or dungeons. Beyond a few wandering souls, there were none to be found in the outside world. And the Star Source natives they encounter are all doing the same thing, helping players. This is a consensus among players. Even after the monsters descended into reality, some Star Source natives also came to the real world to help players fend off the monsters. In the words of some players from my past life, you can doubt an NPC, but you can never doubt a Star Source native. So here's the problem.
My mythic quest is actually telling me to kill a friendly Star Source native. Well, I'll know once I check his attributes.
Demon Lord Van Lunar, level 10 gold level boss. Skills, Blazing Embrace, Ancient Demonic Tongue, Troll Body. Before you could finish checking the attribute panel, Van Lunar spoke up.
Pity. You're just a weak basic class player.
You're too weak. Bring me your clan's strongest. I don't talk to weaklings. You were stunned for a moment.
It felt like you were being looked down upon. With a sneer, you raised your hand and unleashed a basic attack followed by double heavy arrows. The insane damage caused Van Lunar's eyes to nearly pop out in shock. Before he could say more, you had already activated Silver Moon Carnival and rained down arrows on Van Lunar's face like crazy. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. By the time Van Lunar recovered from the initial shock, over a dozen wooden arrows were already pinned to his face.
Stop it right now!
How dare you disrespect the great Magus Van Lunar!
Little brother, stop shooting! Stop!
Stop shooting! There's no more room on my face!
Van Lunar was about to blow a fuse. In all the years it's his first time seeing such damage from an unpromoted basic class player. Seeing the cluster of wooden arrows on Van Lunar's face, you finally felt a sense of satisfaction.
Go ahead and speak. Your lord is listening. Go ahead and speak. Your lord is listening.
Wait. Let me catch my breath.
Van Lunar said with a sob. Heavens, God knows how much he, a dignified archmage, had been tortured. By now, his health bar had recovered to about 1/5. It's my fault. I didn't expect you to possess such strength. I apologize for my previous insolence.
Cut the nonsense. Let's get down to business. Who's lying? The village chief or the Star Source people?
At this, Van Lunar spoke up.
Young man, your eyes are currently clouded by the key.
As long as you discard the key, you will see the truth.
You hesitated for a moment upon hearing this, then tossed the key out of your inventory. After the key was discarded, Fanlunar's attribute panel indeed changed. Crimson Fire, Archmage Fanlunar. Star Source level 10. Skills, Crimson Fire's Embrace. Star Source Ancient Language. Body of the Fire Spirit. The stats remained the same, but the names of the character and skills had changed. This was his true identity.
It seems you realize the truth. The person who gave you that key must be a descendant of the Guardian. He told you to defeat me, didn't he?
He certainly knows how to pick them.
With your strength, you indeed have the power to defeat me.
However,
He and you, Descenders, are not on the same path after all. You might not understand.
I understand. Your kind once ruled the Star Source continent. You simply failed to stop the invasion of that race.
You.
Fanlunar was stunned. He stared straight at you, as if wondering how you could possibly know this. After a long while, a sincere smile appeared on his face.
It seems the chance for my race to return to the Star Source continent has arrived. Young man, since you are aware of the history of those invaders, you should know what needs to be done. If possible, I beg you to restore the Star Source continent to its original glory.
Flame Archmage Valinor has issued you a Mythic Tier chain quest. Reclaim Star Source. Do you accept? You're stunned. Another Mythic Tier chain quest.
Quests of this tier were things you'd only seen on the forums before. But now, they're popping up before me one after another. Is this the kind of treatment top-tier players get?
If I accept this, do I have to abandon my previous quest?
In theory, yes.
But I can allow you to complete both simultaneously.
Oh, it's simple.
Killing me is simple.
Hume, as Valinor said this, a look of relief washed over his face, as if he were talking about something completely unrelated to himself. You're visibly moved. Why? Valinor whispered to himself, his smile fading, replaced by a look of reminiscence.
Because of hope. In all these years, you are the only hope I have ever seen. So I am willing to use my life to give you a final push. I only ask that when you are strong enough, you reclaim the entire Star Source continent.
You stare at Valinor in silence for a long time, eventually giving a solemn nod.
I promise you.
Thank you. This is my final gift to you.
As he spoke, from Valinor's body, a faint flame suddenly drifted out, passing through the bars of the cage, and through the pale golden shield until it reached. Then, before your stunned eye, it plunged straight into your chest.
Obtain Valinor's Primordial Fire. Unlocked Universal and Fire Magic Proficiency.
Mana 加500.
Holy crap! A magic archer!
What Valinor gave him was actually the capacity to learn magic. Even if it's limited to universal and fire spells, for an archer, it's more than enough. Especially fire magic, known for its massive AoE. Known for its immense power, it perfectly compensates for the archer's lack of large-scale AoE capabilities. Valinor had given you a massive gift. It's clear that you are thrilled.
Now you can strike. Without my source energy, I cannot hold on much longer.
Looking over, you see that Valinor, who had been in decent spirits, has already shriveled up like a mummified corpse. Checking his stats again, they have plummeted drastically compared to before. Dying, level 10. Right now, Valunar's stats are barely better than the level 10 mobs. Clearly, 他真的到了灯枯油尽的地步. Seeing this, you waste no time. With a swift strike, you put Valinor out of his misery. Ding, you have slain Crimson Flame Archmage Valinor. You have completed the mythic quest, Memories of Xingyuan. As the system prompts chime, you feel no joy in completing the quest. You look at the quest info Valinor left behind. Restore Xingyuan, Wang. Head to the Beilun Mountain catacombs, and find a dark elf named Float. You naturally know of the Beilun Mountains. They lie southeast of Evernight City, and Evernight City is one of the 8 major capital cities in the game.
Looks like I must head to a capital city first.
After leaving the starter village, you can bind to a capital city to serve as your respawn point. Closing the quest panel, you pick up the portal key from the ground. With Valinor dead, there is no point in staying here any longer. With Assault, the key teleports you away instantly. When you reappear, you are back in front of the nameless statue. Time to turn in the quest. Standing before the village chief again, you can't help but look at him with suspicion, as you observe him closely. However, the village chief didn't show anything unusual.
Young man, you truly are a powerful warrior.
You've completed the mythic quest, Star Source, the past, and obtained the Holy Light Source.
It provides a powerful boost to holy items, but the opposite effect against evil creatures. Seems like a great item.
Just as you received the Holy Light Source, you suddenly felt a throb from the angel wings bound to your soul. You can clearly sense the angel wings evolving rapidly. Once the bottle of Holy Light Source was fully consumed, the angel wings, which originally only had 2 wings, grew to 4, and their power doubled compared to before.
4 wings are too flashy. Better to keep them in their original form.
At this moment, the second part of the Mythic Chain quest was updated. Star Source, the past. 2. Head to Holy Light City and find High Priest Orembo. He will guide you in completing the quest.
I've cleared all the quests in the beginner village. Time to head to the main city.
Checking the friends list, Yao Yao and Ghost Shadow are still offline. Yao Yao,
try to complete the highest difficulty beginner trials possible.
As she was one of the 3 top healers in my previous life, you don't mind showing her this small gesture of goodwill. As for Ghost Shadow, it's purely because of how efficient he is at looting. Stepping onto the teleportation array in the beginner village. After selecting your destination, your figure vanished from the array. The surrounding players were stunned by the sight.
That looks like the big shot. Double kill. He's the only one in our beginner village who reached level 10.
I can't wait to check out the main city. I heard there's even a red light district there.
Go.
You are about to be teleported to Eternal Night City, which will be set as your respawn city.
Proceed.
The next second, you appear at the teleportation plaza of Eternal Night City. Unlike the bustling newbie villages, the vast Eternal Night City is surprisingly deserted, except for the NPC guards occasionally patrolling the street. There are only a few residents walking around in small groups.
A moment later, you arrive in front of a towering building, the Professionals Guild.
This is the class transfer point where every player must eventually come. Of course, you're not here for a standard transfer. You have a hidden class selection scroll. Naturally, there's no way you'd settle for a basic class. The reason you're here is to learn fire magic. You know that many fire spells possess AoE damage capabilities. Learning a few of these will ensure your talent stacks up quickly.
I would like to learn magic from you.
As long as you meet the requirements.
When you see Fire Whirlwind, your eyes instantly light up. That's the core skill for fire mages when grinding mobs. Among all spells, it is easily one of the best. It's perfect as a primary skill for daily mob clearing. I'll learn this one. You immediately inform the magic mentor of your choice.
Eh? You're not a mage. You're an archer, right?
What are you doing here?
Have you even checked the requirements for Fire Whirlwind?
Do you even have 300 magic points? Be gone! Don't waste my time here!
Hurry along now. Stop causing trouble.
Typical mages, they change their tune in a heartbeat. As a regress, you're used to the arrogance of these NPC mage lords, and don't take offense. You simply display your magic stats to the magic mentor.
This much mana.
You're a full magic archer!
Your magic power actually meets the requirement.
Even so, it's useless. Magic can only be learned by the mage class. Understand?
That is an ironclad rule.
Cut the crap.
Hand over the skill. Seeing your persistence, the magic mentor had no other choice. He could only follow the procedure and teach you Fire Whirlwind. Bing, you have learned the skill. Fire Whirlwind. Fire Whirlwind. Instant cast magic. Summons a flame 20 meters in diameter. Whirlwind that lasts for 10 seconds. Cooldown, 3 seconds. You did the math. With your current attack power, this Fire Whirlwind deals over 6,500 magic damage per second. That's 65,000 in 10 seconds. Best of all, it only has a 3-second cooldown. Truly terrifying. Having learned the skill and seeing time was short, you chose to log off. Sitting up in the gaming pod, you were about to get out when you noticed something was wrong. Your eyesight, which had declined over the years due to gaming, suddenly became crystal clear. Even the distant buildings and billboard text outside became incredibly sharp. Then, you remembered one of the rewards for clearing the newbie trial. 10% of your in-game strength should have been projected into reality.
Your current progress has already far surpassed your previous life. You wondered how much this early power projection would impact the future.
After moving around for a bit, your stomach betrayed you and started growling. As soon as you stepped out, you saw your landlord, Lina, coming downstairs wearing a breezy camisole.
Going out for a meal too?
Yeah, just finished gaming and I'm starving.
Come with me, I'll take you somewhere good.
On the way home after dinner, seeing the flashing police lights and the crowd in front of the complex, you asked out of curiosity.
I heard it was a stray cat that slit someone's throat, killing them on the spot.
Is it because of me? The game projection?
You delivered the bags of clothes to Lina's place and then headed home. After a whole day of shopping, even a seasoned shopaholic like Lina felt a bit tired. After freshening up, Lina came to the living room wrapped in a towel, intending to organize the messy piles of shopping bags. Curious, Lina looked over and noticed movement coming from behind the curtain.
Why is there a cat meow in the house? That news about the killer stray cat.
Before she knew it, Lina pulled back the curtains, only to see a dark shadow pounce from behind the gap.
Sister Na, what happened?
Help me.
Get open.
The power of your rage-filled punch to a stray cat was absolutely devastating.
Gained 1 EXP.
Ignoring the game notification, you were about to ask if she was okay, but you suddenly froze. Lina suddenly scrambled up from the floor and threw her arms around you, completely oblivious to the towel slipping off her body. I'm so scared.
Don't be afraid, I'm here.
Your body stiffened, but you eventually held the trembling Lina close. Back at your place, Lina was wearing silk pajamas, sipping mindlessly from a cup of hot water.
Sister Na, I didn't hold back my strength in the heat of the moment. I'll find someone to fix the door tomorrow.
It's okay. That stray cat was like a tiger. I would have been in real danger if not for you.
In my previous life, the first monster invasion happened somewhere in Magic City. But this time, it happened right here. Is it because I was the first to project my game power? Sister Na,
you can sleep in my room tonight. I'll sleep out here. Sister Na, take my room for tonight. I'll just sleep in the living room. After watching Lina go into the room, you lie down directly in the gaming pod. With a flash of light, you appear inside Eternal Night City's class guild. You're desperate to boost your strengths, and one of the fastest ways to do that is through a class change. Activating the hidden class selection scroll, your eyes sweep through the available hidden classes one by one.
Radiant Divine Sword, Night Shrine, Wild Hunter.
Suddenly, the description of one hidden class catches your eye. Hao Tang Shuan. This is a class blessed by the heavens. None of its attacks can be dodged, and it possesses ultra-long-range scouting abilities. For you, it's practically tailor-made. You choose to change your class to the unique hidden class, Hao Tang Shuan. With your decision made, a class change quest appears in your quest log. Class change quest, Hao Tang Shuan. Kill 5 gold level bosses, no lower than your own level. Collect 1,000 azure, sea swallow feathers, and clear the 10th floor of the hero tower. The 3 quest requirements make your eyelids twitch. You look over the 3 conditions and weigh them carefully, finally deciding that the second one, collecting azure sea swallow feathers, should be the easiest task at this stage. After stocking up on health and mana potions in Eternal Eternal Night City, you pick a direction and head out of the city. Right now, you're frantically farming stacks for your talent and passives. The Fire Cyclone has a massive AoE and a very short cooldown. Soaring through the sky, you drop a Fire Cyclone into the monster mobs below every 3 seconds. You keep flying like this, circling endlessly around the outskirts of Eternal Night City. Casting Fire Whirlwind, it didn't take long for your passive stacks to exceed 50,000. Just then, you received a message from Yao Yao, noting that both siblings had completed the hard difficulty trial. After sending a congratulatory reply, you closed the chat window. Suddenly, a game notification rang out in your ear.
Yushin Dangtian is the first in the server to complete the class advancement.
You were stunned, as expected of a major guild. To think Yushin Dangtian would be the first to finish the advancement quest. You glanced at the rankings, only to find your top spot had already been taken by Yushin Dangtian, while other players were still at level 10 without having advanced.
The Yushin Guild has set Holy Light City as its headquarters. All ambitious players are welcome to join us.
Once the news broke, the rapidly scrolling world chat was filled with people flattering Yushin Dangtian. This made Yushin, who had just finished his advancement and was in high spirits, smile even wider. He looked towards the guild's core members.
How is the contact with Yijian Shuangdiao going?
Boss, that guy has reject friend request turned on. We can't get in touch with him at all.
Useless! You can't even handle this. Pass down the word. If you encounter Yijian Shuangdiao, first invite him to the guild. If he refuses, put him on the blacklist.
I'd like to see how he plans to play against me.
Yes, sir.
You checked your passive, which had already stacked up to 150,000, and decided it was time to take on the class advancement quest. While grinding mobs, you finally dropped the 2 pieces of equipment you were missing, a helmet and a pair of leggings. Inhong Antelope Helmet, Silver Grade, Level 10, Passive, Antelope Skull. Reduces damage taken by the head by an additional 5%. The other piece was the leggings, Demonic Wolfskin Pants. Grade, Silver, Level 10, Demon Wolf, Wind Blade. Active, unleashes a Wind Blade, dealing 300 damage. Targets, enemies within 100 m. Cooldown 10s.
Would you like to hide the equipment appearance?
Hide. After hiding the equipment appearance, you check the map and fly toward the east of Eternal Night City.
A way later.
The azure horizon finally appears in your sight, followed by the silhouettes of pale blue sea swallow. Azure sea swallow, level 30. Skills, swallow dive, ocean pulse. As level 30 squishy mobs, their HP and defense are quite low. Speed is their only advantage, but to you, it's nothing. Fire Whirlwind. Activate. Swarms of azure sea swallows perish in the flames, without even getting a chance to attack. However, the feather drop rate is abysmally low. You only get 1 feather for every 10 kills. Another batch cleared. You collect the fallen feathers. By now, you've cleared the area of all azure sea swallows. Now you must wait for them to respawn. Bored, you decide to farm other mobs elsewhere to stack your talent. Suddenly, you spot a figure moving slowly through the bushes below. Out of curiosity, you fly down and land in front of them. It's a wounded soldier, his lower body soaked in blood. Pale as a ghost, he's clearly on the brink of death.
A human, an adventurer.
Your sudden appearance startles him, but he visibly relaxes upon seeing you're human.
Adventurer, please, deliver a message for me. I don't have long.
Carmel, a scout of Eternal Night City, has issued you a mission, the final message. Do you accept? The final message. Carmel discovered that the Sea Tribe has gathered forces on a certain island, seemingly preparing to launch an attack on Eternal Night City. You must deliver this news to the Lord of Eternal Night City. He will grant you a generous reward. This mission is, you're stunned for a moment, as your mind involuntarily recalls a major event from your past life that took place in Eternal Night City. The Sea Tribe's invasion. Thinking of this, you immediately accept the mission.
Thank you, adventurer. You must get word to the City Lord as soon as possible so Eternal Night City can prepare.
After saying this, the soldier draws his last breath, heaving the soldier's body onto your shoulder. You fly back toward Eternal Night City. You don't use a teleport scroll, as it wouldn't allow you to bring the body back with you. Along the way, you continue using Fire Whirlwind to stack your passive talent. By the time you reach Eternal Night City, your passive talent has already stacked to 200,000.
Who goes there?
No trespassing in the City Lord's mansion!
Who goes there?
No trespassing in the City Lord's mansion!
You set the soldier's body down and point at him.
This is one of your soldiers from Eternal Night City, named Carmel. Before he died, he tasked me with delivering an urgent message to the City Lord.
ED by the guards, you quickly enter the City Lord's mansion. It is a vast and empty hall. On the throne, a woman of heroic bearing watches you with a calm gaze.
What brings you here?
You're no stranger to this female City Lord of Eternal Night City, named Iris. She is said to possess royal blood. In your past life, after the game was projected into reality, this female City Lord also successfully crossed over into the real world. She also leads a troop of soldiers to help humanity resist the monster invasion. Due to her stunning beauty and formidable strength, she is known among humans as the Rose Queen.
Honorable City Lord, your soldier asked me to convey a message before he passed. The Sea Tribe is gathering their forces. Eternal Night City must be on high alert.
Those stinky fish really are plotting against my Eternal Night City. Adventurer, on behalf of Eternal Night City, I thank you for your help. This is your reward.
As Iris spoke, she handed you a badge. Ding! You have received the Eternal Night Badge. Reputation plus 50. With the Eternal Night Badge, within the city's jurisdiction, you can mobilize a squad of up to 100 soldiers to serve you. And you enjoy legal immunity within Eternal Night City. You are overjoyed.
This is the legendary privilege item from your previous life, allowing you to command level 60 NPCs for your squad.
You could say that with this badge, You're practically an elite noble of Eternal Night City. After bidding farewell to City Lord Iris, you head toward the tallest structure in the city, the Tower of Heroes. In each of the 8 major cities, there stands a Tower of Heroes. Every player gets 3 challenge attempts per day. Successful challenges do not consume an attempt. You challenged the Tower of Heroes in your previous life, and you are very confident in your current damage output. Arriving at the Tower of Heroes, this spire that pierces the cloud, you see that many players have already gathered. You spot a familiar figure in the crowd. It's none other than the Vice President of the Overlord Guild, Overlord Blade. Only then do you remember. In your previous life, the Overlord Guild was indeed based in Eternal Night City. At this moment, Tyrant Blade also spotted him.
Master Yi Jian, why are you here too?
I'm here to challenge the Hero Tower.
No one has cleared the 2nd floor yet. They say the heroes there are only level 11.
I know.
Let's go in and take a look first.
With that, you push through the crowd and enter the Hero Tower.
So this is Yi Jian? He looks pretty ordinary to me. I heard his level is about the same as ours. He really wants to challenge the 2nd floor. In his dreams. Where does he get that confidence? Just wait and see him get exposed as a fraud.
After a flash of light, you appeared on a massive arena. After a flash of light, you appeared on a massive arena. The arena was vast, and directly opposite you, a pitch-black figure was gradually manifesting. The opponent wore azure armor and an ancient helmet that completely covered his face, leaving only a pair of cold eyes visible. Stone Warrior, level 10. Skills, Storm Dash, Sweeping Wind, and Death Gale. As the first guardian hero of the Hero Tower, you couldn't be more familiar with the Storm Warrior's stats, but after just one glance, you lost interest. You immediately drew your bow and fired. The Storm Warrior collapsed on the spot without even letting out a grunt. Outside the Hero Tower,
I bet he'll take a minute. That's the Storm Warrior we're talking about.
An archer is finished once they're closed in on. Everyone knows that.
Hey, look over there.
3 seconds.
I haven't even finished sneezing. It took that top player 40 minutes to clear it.
Is this guy even human?
First place, Yi Jian, floor 1 clear time, 13 seconds. The players were collectively stunned by the ranking. You've got to be kidding. The previous challenger spent 40 grueling minutes just to clear the boss of the Hero Tower's 1st floor. Yet you, Yi Jian Shuangbiao, finished it off in just 3 seconds.
Is this even legal?
Where is the logic? Congratulations, you have defeated the Hero Tower's 10th floor guardian. You've obtained Skill Enhancement Scroll X1. Watching the 10th floor guardian dissipate, you finally breathe a sigh of relief. You glance at the requirements for your class advancement quest. With only 1 stage left, you lost interest in fun. Challenging further. With a single thought, you exit the Hero Tower. The moment you step out of the tower, countless intense gazes fall upon you.
Look at me! I love you!
The frenzied crowd tries to search forward, but they are blocked by the Batian Guild members, led by Batian Yidao. You're completely bewildered, still unsure of what's happening, when you see Batian Yidao walking over with a young man.
Hello, I'm Batian Xuanzhan, Guild Leader of Batian. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hello, I've heard a lot about you.
You have a favorable impression of the Batian Guild, so you shake his hand. Just then, a stunning, mature woman with a smoking hot figure walks over.
Hello, great god. I'm Qingluan Youyou, Vice Leader of the Qingluan Guild. On behalf of the Qingluan Guild, I'd like to invite you to join us.
Like Batian, the Qingluan Guild is also ranked among the top 10 in the gaming world. However, since they only recruit female players, they currently rank 10th in overall power. With the Qingluan Guild taking the lead, other waiting guild elites step forward to show their goodwill. You reject all of their invitations. You only add a few guild elites as friends. However, you specifically reject friend requests from 2 guild elites, those from the Yushan Guild and the Quangren Guild. You didn't have a shred of goodwill toward these 2 guilds. During this time, you rejected friend requests from the core members of both guilds. One was the Yushan Guild, and the other was the Madman Guild. You didn't have the slightest bit of respect for either of them. In your previous life, after the game invaded reality, the leaders of these 2 guilds became lapdogs for the ancient evil gods, not only hunting players in-game, but even helping the first batch of evil god cultists establish a foothold in the real world. In your past life, you loathed these 2 guilds to the core, but you lack the power to act. With the strength you possess in this life, you certainly won't let them off easily. Seeing the crowd outside packed in layer upon layer, you had no choice but to activate your angel wings and fly out over their heads. Only one requirement remained for your class advancement task. Kill 5 gold grade bosses. If you had to rely on finding wild bosses on your own, there's no telling how much time it would take. Fortunately, as a regressor, you knew of a location near Eternal Night City that housed the gold grade boss, and it was also a perfect spot to stack your talent. After a while, a range of ominous black mountains appeared before you. Since you didn't know the exact location of the undead crypt, you could only fly around the undead mountains, searching for any suspicious areas.
A moment later.
Your eyes suddenly locked onto a distant valley. A pitch-black cave entrance sat there, facing your direction. Approaching rapidly, you used Fire Whirlwind to clear the undead in the valley, and then stepped into the crypt. The moment you entered, a system notification chimed in your ears. Ding! You have discovered a special area, Undead. The burial chamber was vast, spanning the size of 2 football fields. It was packed wall to wall, with a massive horde of skeletons. You are now standing at the entrance of the burial chamber. The undead skeletons in the distance did not attack him. Looking around, the place was filled with these white jade skeletons. Only at the innermost staircase did a massive, distinct shadow stand out. As expected, that shadow was the gold rank boss that spawned on this floor. Without hesitation, you cast a fire whirlwind at the skeletons inside the tomb. In an instant, the sound of bones shattering rang out one after another. Countless white jade skeletons were swept up by the fire whirlwind, turning into piles of broken bones.
Moments later, not a single skeleton remained standing on the first floor of the crypt.
At this moment, the massive figure finally moved. Crunch, crunch, he stepped over the field of shattered bone. He approached, his figure radiating an imposing sense of pressure. You soon caught a clear glimpse of the newcomer, a giant skeleton wearing a solid gold crown. Skeleton King, gold rank boss, level 25. Skills: Summon skeletons, King's Wrath, Undead Bot.
With 220,000 passive stacks, you only need 9 hits to kill him.
Whoosh! An arrow landed precisely on the Skeleton King's smooth forehead. The Skeleton King's HP bar visibly dropped by a small segment. Even the Skeleton King himself was momentarily stunned. He touched his smooth forehead, bewildered as to how a mere wooden arrow could wipe out a tenth of his health. One thing was clear though, the human before him was no pushover. He let out a silent roar. The Skeleton King raised his rusty broadsword and swung it towards your direction, firing arrows incessantly. You mentally command the angel wings to lift you into the air, out of the Skeleton King's reach. You were like a relentless shooting machine. While dodging the Skeleton King's attacks, he maintained a steady stream of damage. Under this onslaught, the Skeleton King lasted less than 15 seconds before falling in defeat. Under this onslaught, the Skeleton King lasted less than 15 seconds before falling in defeat. Server announcement. Player Double Shot is the first to slay the Golden Tier level. His deeds shall be immortalized in the history of the Star Source continent. With the Skeleton King defeated, the passage to the next floor lit up. Without hesitation, you headed straight to the next level. Deep within the undead crypt, inside the cramped secret chamber, flickering candles provided the only source of light. In opposite corners of the room, 2 figures lurked in the shadows.
In 7 days, I will dispatch my servants to Eternal Night City. Once it's done, 80% of the city's population will be mine, while the city itself and its surrounding lands will belong to you.
Agreed.
But the City Lord Iris is off limits. Our patriarch specifically requested her to be spared.
Rest assured.
The living do not interest me.
Suddenly, he stiffened and looked toward the ceiling of the chamber.
Strange. A little bug has intruded.
The candles flickered abruptly. One of the figures had already vanished into thin air. On the 5th floor of the crypt, you fired the final arrow, toppling an undead knight. You looked relaxed and let out a sigh of relief. The 3 class promotion requirements were finally met. You took out the scroll once more. The words requirements met were now glowing on it. Without hesitation, you immediately activated the class promotion scroll. Jin, you have activated the power of the class promotion scroll.
Congratulations on your class advancement. Unique hidden class, How Come Shrine.
You have learned new skills. Eye of the Vast Azure, Punishment of Azure Thunder, Sword of the Heaven. You knew hidden classes were strong, but you didn't expect them to be this powerful.
Gaining 1 level is equivalent to others gaining 12. This isn't just power. It's heaven-defying.
Besides the free attribute points from leveling up, the 3 newly learned skills are a pleasant surprise. Especially the first one. The Eye of the Vast Azure is practically a skill tailor-made for you. What you're most worried about now isn't your attack range. It's the limit of your own vision. But with the Eye of the Vast Azure, things are different. You can use the eye to reveal the vision of the target's area, and then deliver precise strikes based on that vision, whether with basic attacks or skills. As long as it's locked onto a target, nothing can stop it.
Right now, I'm like a walking human intercontinental ballistic missile.
Just as you were feeling smug, a hoarse voice sounded in your ear.
I thought some powerful figure had broken in.
I didn't expect it to be just a first advancement small fry.
As the voice faded, you saw a figure shrouded in a black robe appear at the entrance to the next floor. You secretly went on high alert. Your gaze fell upon its head. Lich Glock, Diamond Tier Boss. Level, HP, Mana, Attack, Defense, Resistance, Skills. Nothing but a string of question marks, making your scalp tingle with dread. In Star Source, if a target is more than 30 levels above you, their level will be displayed as question marks.
It's a question mark. This is at least a level 40 plus monster.
However, its name caught your attention. Lash Glock, a Lash.
Could it be? I remember now. So this guy has been hiding here all along.
Lich Glock. This name was well known around the city of Eternal Night in my past life. Countless players and NPCs remembered his name. The most iconic thing about Glock was the undead army he commanded. Among the forces that once attacked Eternal Night City was Glock's undead army. Had it not been for Iris's decisive strike that killed Glock, Eternal Night City might well have fallen under their combined siege. Now, with Glock right in front of you, for the sake of Eternal Night City, you decisively used a teleport scroll. No joke, if Glock were 220 kilometers away from you right now, you wouldn't mind giving him a few shots to loosen him up. But right now, the distance between you was only 200 meters. You wouldn't dare trade damage and skills with a powerful lich at this range. The teleportation glow shining on you made Glock freeze for a moment, but he quickly snapped out of it.
You think you can escape once you've entered my domain? Do you think this place is a playground?
Glock raised his hand to attack you, but the mage's cast animation was too long, and couldn't match the speed of your instant cast skill.
Damn it.
You filthy bug! Don't let me find you! Or I will subject your soul to tens of thousands of years of torment!
Your figure materialized from the teleportation array in Eternal Night City. This encounter made you realize how tough it is to play without any crowd control skills. You then pulled out the class skill selection tome you had saved specifically for after your class change. Ding! You have used the class skill selection tome. Please choose one of the following class skills. Tri-split divine arrow. The fired arrow splits into 3, dealing 150% sword aura damage to all enemies in the area. Summoning Asia, divine general. In the name of Hao Cao, summons a divine general to aid in battle. The general stats scale to 200% of the summoner's stats. Duration 30 minutes. The Hao Cao divine sword class doesn't have many skills, barely over 20 in total. But every single skill boasts incredible stats and insane effects. You're momentarily torn, but eventually, you settle on a CC skill. Grip of Divine Wrath. Active. Instant cast. Spatial compression. Suppresses all entities within the target area by 5 meters. Mana cost, 400. Cooldown, 30 minutes. Having picked the skill, you immediately prepare to enhance it. Ding! You use a skill enhancement scroll to upgrade Grip of Divine Wrath, exhausting all 3 scrolls. The skill's description undergoes a subtle shift. Grip of Divine Wrath. Active. Instant cast. Spatial compression. Suppresses all entities within the target area by 8 meters. Mana cost, 800. Cooldown, 15 minutes. Post the enhancement, Grip of Divine Wrath suppression and cooldown have seen major improvements, though it only added 3 extra seconds of suppression.
Those 3 seconds are enough for me to land a Sword of the Heavens.
Suddenly, a friend notification pings. You open it to find a message from Karsik Yao Yao.
Boss, my brother and I found a silver boss in the wild. Hurry over! Boss, my brother and I found a silver boss in the wild. Get here fast!
Because of you. Karsik Yao Yao and Yu Ying also made their way to Eternal Night City, but they didn't have the nerve to ask you to power level them. Instead, the siblings teamed up to grind mobs in the wild, just as before. While farming, they stumbled upon a wandering silver leopard. Honestly, those two have incredible luck.
Boss, hurry! Other players have spotted it! I'm afraid they'll steal our kill!
You didn't reply to Karsik Yao Yao immediately.
Instead, he opened the map to check the coordinates, and found that the location was exactly within his attack range. Now he could breathe a sigh of relief.
Don't rush. Send me the boss's stats. Then form a party with me.
Right after you send a message, Yao Yao immediately sent over the boss's attribute panel. Wraith King, Silver Buff, Level 12, Skills, Wraith Stun, Berserk Charge, and Scale Armor. You clicked to accept the party invitation from Yao Yao.
You two get ready. Once the boss is done, grab the loot immediately.
Great God! Are you here yet?
She tilted her head, her bright eyes scanning the surroundings, only to see other players slowly closing in. I'm not coming over, but I can still kill this boss. Reading your reply, Yao Yao felt like her brain was short-circuited.
What did that even mean? What did he mean by not coming over? But he can still kill it. Can he kill a boss with his mind?
While Yao Yao was still puzzled, Shadow approached her and patted her on the shoulder.
Yo, what's the word?
Has got double kill arrived. More and more players are gathering here.
Brother, the great god said he's not coming. But he says he can kill the boss and told us to get ready for the loot. What?
If he's not here, how are we supposed to fight it?
As they spoke, several players approached the pair.
Hey guys, we all found this boss together. How about we party up and take it down?
Otherwise, once the big guilds arrive, us solo players won't get a thing.
As they spoke, their gazes drifted over Yao Yao's face and figure, unable to hide their sheer amazement at her beauty. With a cold expression, Yu Ying shielded his sister behind him.
Sorry, but we've got this boss covered, and our teammate is already on his way.
That's hilarious, bro. That line is so outdated. Aren't you just trying to save this boss to sell it to a guild? What's with the act? Finders keepers, right? How about we split the loot?
I said, we can handle it ourselves. We don't need you.
Seeing Yu Ying's firm stance, the expressions of the other players turned cold.
We were kind enough to offer to share the loot with you.
Let's see you try that thing. 还行, it's the Morning King. You think casual solo players like you can handle a boss like that? Can you even pierce its defense?
The leader sneered, pointing at the boss. He had no idea that from the distant horizon, a streak of light was hurtling toward them, landing with pinpoint accuracy on the Moling King's head. An astronomical damage number floated above the Moling King's head, and its health bar vanished into thin air instantly. The player who was pointing at the boss froze in shock. Since when did his finger become so powerful? Did he just one-shot the boss by pointing at it? While they were still dazed, Yu Ying moved. In a blur of speed, the glowing equipment on the ground vanished instantly, including a piece radiating a brilliant golden light. The sight made the surrounding players' eyes nearly pop out of their heads.
The fact that Yu Ying could pick up the loot
meant that his teammate really was the one who got the kill.
Gold tier equipment.
That's a gold grade item.
There isn't a single gold item on the auction house yet.
This is likely the first gold piece in the game. Its value is priceless.
Stop right there.
Driven by greed, the crowd instinctively surrounded Yu Ying and his sister.
Hand over that gold grade gear, or you aren't going anywhere.
That's right! Leave the gear, or don't blame us for what happens next!
Hand over that gold grade gear, or you aren't going anywhere.
Exactly!
Drop the equipment, or we'll do this the hard way!
Their threats made Yu Ying's face turn pale. Yao Yao hid behind Yu Ying, not daring to look. She could only message the Great God about their situation.
Great God, we're surrounded. They're demanding the gold grade gear. But my brother already listed it in the auction house.
Actually, even without Yao Yao's message, you knew exactly what was happening. High in the azure sky, an ethereal, semi-transparent eye that almost merged with the blue sky floated silently. This was no ordinary eye. It was the eye of Haokao, evolved from your passive ability. Under its gaze, you could see every detail of the confrontation below. Seeing the siblings surrounded, you weren't worried at all. You simply replied, "It's fine." Then, with a single thought, a bolt of lightning abruptly struck from above. It landed precisely at the center, where the siblings were standing. As the thunder roared and lightning snaked through the air, the siblings squeezed their eyes shut, bracing for death, but they felt no pain. Instead, it was the players surrounding them who began screaming in agony.
A minute later,
the two opened their eyes in confusion, only to find that all the other players had vanished, leaving a field of glittering dropped gear behind. While they were still dazed, Yao Yao suddenly cried out in surprise.
Brother, the Great God. He told us to pick up all the gear and sell it. He can see us.
Yu Ying was completely shell-shocked.
First, one-shotting bosses, and now summoning lightning. Are we even playing the same game?
Arriving at the Eternal Night City Lord's mansion, you see the peerlessly cold and elegant City Lord, Iris, once again. Today, Iris is dressed in an elegant gown. Her sultry figure, accentuated by the dress, exudes an incredible allure, combined with her cold, regal countenance. It stirs an inexplicable urge in anyone to conquer her, but you keep a clear head.
Stunning as she is, she's a powerhouse nearing her 4th advancement. One wrong move could mean death.
Double kill. I heard you were looking for me.
City Lord, while I was training in the Undead Mountains, I discovered a cavern, and after venturing deep inside,
you tell Iris about your experience in the Undead Crypt, leaving nothing out, including how you slayed the level 30 gold tier boss.
I am aware there is a lich in the Undead Mountains, but for you to actually kill a Death Knight under that lich's command, are you sure you aren't trying to deceive me?
If you don't believe me, City Lord, I can demonstrate it right here.
Very well. Follow me.
Iris turns and leaves. The two of them pass through the main hall, and soon arrive at the mansion's training grounds. In the vast arena, rows of training dummies stand neatly across the western plaza.
The dummies over there can withstand attacks from a 3rd advancement player. You can unleash your skills without holding back.
3rd advancement, that refers to the power of players over level 60. With your current attack power, you indeed can't destroy these dummies. However, giving Iris a little shock is well within your reach. Wasting no time, you draw the Silver Moon longbow and begin charging a shot at a dummy. Since it's a demonstration, you naturally intend to unleash your strongest attack. As Skyward Strike began to charge, a flash of surprise crossed Iris's eyes beside you. With her strength, she could naturally sense the terrifying destructive power contained within your arrow. The arrow shot out with a deep blue glow. Damage, 1,231,452. Iris's palm, hidden beneath her dress, trembled slightly. Ding! Iris, the City Lord of Eternal Night, has increased her favorability toward you by 20. Current favorability, 30. The game notification suddenly chimed, leaving you slightly stunned. Favorability is a value that exists specifically between NPCs and players. Clearly, your performance has gained Iris's recognition. It has made her develop a favorable impression of you. The strong have always admired the strong. At this moment, Iris was undoubtedly shaken to her core.
He's clearly only at the early 1st advancement. How can he have destructive power comparable to the late 3rd advancement? Is this what a descendant is capable of?
Lord City Lord, what I just demonstrated was my strongest single target attack.
Next, I will show you my area of effect attack. Thunder, descent.
As your hand swept down, a bolt of lightning as thick as a pillar crashed from the sky. A dense cloud of damage numbers floated up from the area where the dummy stood. Witnessing the entire scene made Iris's heart surge with even more excitement. Ding! Iris, the City Lord of Eternal Night, has increased her favorability toward you by 10. Current favorability, 4.
I acknowledge your strength. I have a certain place to recommend to you, where you can rapidly increase your power.
Your eyes lit up. A hidden quest. And it's a hidden quest that no one else has ever been able to get from her. Respected City Lord, I look forward to visiting the place you recommend.
Don't call me City Lord. From now on, just call me Iris.
Alright, Iris.
Iris gave a charming smile. The momentary grace she displayed made your heart skip a beat in spite of yourself.
This NPC is just way too realistic.
Almost lost my cool.
Sensing your odd behavior, Iris didn't get angry.
I want to recommend you to the Imperial Royal Academy. But before that, you must obtain a certain item as proof of admission.
Please enlighten me, City Lord. What is it?
The Star of Hope.
Only the most outstanding newcomers have a chance to enter the Royal Academy.
Normally, back in the Land of Beginnings,
you descenders had a chance to earn the Star of Hope title, but that difficulty was extreme. Now, as long as you can...
Iris suddenly froze as you pulled out the Star of Hope title that you obtained after clearing the Hell level trial in the newbie village.
This is...
The Star of Hope!
That's right.
I cleared the highest difficulty trial.
You obtained this in the Land of Beginnings.
Iris was speechless. Her chest heaved with emotion, reflecting her shock at this moment.
But I'll be representing Eternal Night City this time, right? As the City Lord, shouldn't you reward me with something good?
Iris was stunned by your words.
I see. So this is the real reason you're showing off your strength to me. Speak then. What do you want?
Do you have a level 30 gold set?
Hook me up with one.
I have gold sets, but can you even equip them? All equipment for you descenders has level requirements. It's useless to give it to you now.
Don't worry about that. Just have it ready. I'll level up in no time.
Go then. When you're ready for your second class advancement, come to me for the set.
Gold set secured. Admission secured. Next up, power leveling. I'll hit level 30 within a day.
After stepping out of the gaming pod, you go upstairs to find Lina. After 2 knocks, Lina quickly opened the door. Sister Ne.
It's me! You brat, so you finally remembered me. Coming over this late. She must be thinking, this brat is quite the troublemaker.
You frowned at Lina and noticed her gaze gradually turning into a mix of embarrassment and indignation. Her face began to flush as well.
Sister Na, I have something to tell you.
Lina rolled her eyes at you again, then turned and swayed her hips, walking back to the living room sofa. Only then did you notice that Lina was wearing a silk nightgown. The soft nightgown was a bit loose, clinging to her chest and hips, tracing several alluring curves. You looked away and followed Lina to the sofa.
Go ahead, speak.
You came to my place so late at night. What do you want?
You looked at Lina, whose face grew redder and redder, her eyes fixed on you with a hint of anticipation.
Sister Ne, let me carry you in the game. Tell me your game ID. I'll go find you.
I was nervous all night, and this is all you had to say.
Logging back into the game, you immediately opened your friend list and entered the ID Lao Zi Shu Dao Mountain. You really couldn't understand why Sister Ne chose such a name.
The name doesn't suit her style at all.
As soon as you applied, Lina accepted the friend request, and she immediately sent a message.
You're actually the real one arrow, two birds.
Surprised.
Surprised, my foot. You didn't even tell me about something this big.
Seeing the message, you felt a bit guilty and quickly changed the subject, saying you'd head over now to help her level up. Lina didn't dwell on it and soon gave you her coordinates, mentioning she also had a bestie who needed a carry. Checking the coordinates, you find that Lina is actually in Holy Light City. Not bad. It's the perfect chance to pick up the legendary quest for Holy Light City. Meanwhile, at a leveling spot outside Holy Light City, ignoring her friend's protests, Lina plopped down on the grass and lay back comfortably. She wore a piece of worn-out plate armor, revealing glimpses of her fair midriff and arms. The armor clung to her body, perfectly outlining her fiery curves, drawing an eye roll from the girl beside her.
Don't worry.
Zhou Yu said, tugging Lina's armor down a bit. She was a mage, wearing the light gray robe exclusive to her class. The loose robe completely enveloped her body, and one could only judge from her prominent curves that her figure was just as stunning as Lina's.
Oh, Xiao Yu!
Why are you more nagging than my mom? It's fine. Once my friend gets here, you can just lie back and level up too.
Nana, you actually have a friend like that.
He's almost here.
As Lina and Zhao Yu chatted, a group of players sneakily approached them. As they were talking, the group of shady-looking players surrounded them. Frowning, Lina sat up and shot the group a cold look. The scrawny young man leading them smiled at Lina and Zhao Yu.
Hey girls, just the two of you leveling up?
Want to join our party?
We're from the Divine Guild.
A deep look of lustful amazement was hidden in his eyes. Wang Hao felt like his luck was maxed out today. He'd come out to level up with his guild members, never expecting to run into such top-tier female players, especially that female warrior on the ground, that figure of hers. Those looks, and legs longer than life itself. That female mage isn't bad either, even though she's covered by a robe. Wang Hao could tell at a glance that she had some serious assets hidden underneath. The admiration in Wang Hao's eyes gradually turned into lust. Lina and Zhao Yu noticed, their faces showing blatant disgust.
We don't need to join your party. Let's go.
Hey, what's the rush? We're all out here grinding. Why be so cold?
Any other female player might have agreed. After all, solo leveling is a grind, and getting hit by mobs really hurts. But Lina and Zhao Yu weren't having any of it. Lina snapped at them immediately.
Get lost!
Feisty little thing. Either you grind with us,
or we kill you and send you back to town.
Just then, a figure suddenly descended from above, landing perfectly right in front of Lina. Lina's eyes lit up the moment she saw him.
About time you showed up.
You turned around and grinned at Lina.
Perfect timing, wouldn't you say? Just in time to clear out these flies for you.
Your words were arrogant, completely disregarding Wang Hao and his group. Wang Hao and his crew all glared at you in rage.
Who the hell are you, kid? You dare meddle in the business of the Yushen Guild? Hao Ge, let's kill this guy!
Messing with us in Holy Light City! You must have a death wish!
You didn't even bother to talk. With a casual wave, a bolt of lightning as thick as a bolt struck right in the middle of Wang Hao's group, exploding into a web of lightning serpents. A massive series of insane numbers, minus 1,154,712, floated up from above their head. They only had time to feel the devastation of the lightning. Not even a scream escaped. And they all collapsed in unison. In an instant, your name turned a deep dark red. Ping! You have been killed by player 2 birds 1 arrow. Emerging from the Holy Light City resurrection point, Wang Hao's expression was a sight to behold.
2 birds 1 arrow.
Isn't he supposed to be in Eternal Night City?
How did he end up in Holy Light City?
Countless questions flashed through Wang Hao's mind, but he quickly recalled what the guild leader had said.
Remember, if you spot 2 birds 1 arrow, report it immediately.
With that in mind, Wang Hao hurriedly opened his friends list.
Guild leader, 2 birds 1 arrow is here in Holy Light City.
At that moment, God Wander was leading his guild's elite team to grind mobs in the wild. Receiving Wang Hao's message instantly killed his interest in leveling up.
2 birds 1 arrow.
He immediately turned to face his guild members.
Summon all the core members of the guild.
and have them assemble outside the south gate of Holy Light City.
Understood, guild leader. Summon every single core member of the guild. Have them all gather outside the south gate of Holy Light City. Yes, guild leader.
Soon, the entirety of Holy Light City was in an uproar. Due to the order issued by God Wanderer, a massive tide of players from the Yushan Guild marched toward the south gate, drawing frequent, bewildered stares from passersby.
What's going on? It looks like everyone from the Yushan Guild is heading to the south gate.
I heard their guild leader found 2 birds, 1 arrow's trail. They're going there to hunt him down.
Huh? 2 birds, 1 arrow.
You mean that level 30 powerhouse?
That's the one.
I don't know what the Yushan Guild leader is thinking. The guy is already level 30.
How do we kill him?
Outside the south gate, Yushan looked coldly at all the guild's core members.
Send out all the assassins and hunters within half an hour. I want the exact coordinates of double kill.
Yes, sir!
On the other side, after you effortlessly wiped out Wang Hao and his group, Lina kept clinging to you and flooding you with questions.
Are you a hidden class? Why are you so much stronger than the hidden classes on the forums? Hey, say something! What's with the silent treatment?
You felt your head spinning, nearly drowning in the sea of Lina's questions.
Sigh, Sister Na, let's just get moving first. I'll answer all your questions one by one.
Hearing this, Lina finally let it go.
Alright, so where are we going to level up?
I almost forgot to introduce you. This is my best friend, Zhao Yu. She's beautiful, has a sweet voice.
And she's totally romancable.
Lina pulled Zhao Yu over and gave you a playful whip. Zhao Yu's face instantly turned crimson, and she made a move to pinch Lina.
Lina, I'm going to kill you.
Don't be so mad.
In your previous life, you had only heard Lina mention this Zhao Yu. It seemed she had died at the hands of invading monsters right at the start.
Lina had cried for a long time because of that. It was rare to have such a close friend she could tease like this.
The monsters around Holy Light City are too low level. We're going somewhere further.
As you spoke, you opened the game map and pointed toward an unexplored black area. Lina and Zhao Yu both looked at you in confusion.
It's so far. It'll take half a day just to walk there.
As you spoke, the angel wings behind you suddenly unfurled.
I'll just fly you both there.
Seeing this, Lina's eyes immediately lit up. You grinned, wrapping your arms around the slender waists of the 2 women. Then you took to the skies, eliciting screams from the 2 women. As they both instinctively clutched onto you, guided by the map, the group quickly crossed over vast leveling zones. As Lina and Zhao Yu let go, they were both stunned by the sight of the monsters before them.
Heritage, level 4.
Alright. From now on, you two just need to help me pick up the loot.
With that, you raised your hand and unleashed a fire whirlwind. As the howling red vortex tore through the camp, Lina finally snapped out of it,
staring at you in a daze.
Holy crap.
Are you happy? Ding Dian, your level has increased to 30. All attributes +1, and the 5 free attribute points gained. When the system notification chimed in their ears, Lina began to tremble with pure excitement. Beside her, Zhao Yu nodded fervently, her heavy breathing betraying just how thrilled she was. But as the one behind it all, you remained perfectly calm.
To level up further, I'll need the second job advancement. By the way, Najie, don't change jobs yet. I'll find you a hidden profession in a few days.
Hearing about a hidden profession, an ecstatic Lina suddenly pounced on you.
You're the best! All those years of taking care of you really paid off!
Lina squealed, planting a firm kiss on your cheek. Zhao Yu watched the 2 of you with envious eyes.
Sigh. Third wheeling again.
Since you had business in Holy Light City, you decided to fly back alone. Lina and Zhao Yu nodded and immediately crushed their teleport scrolls. As you approached the outskirts of Holy Light City, you quickly noticed a massive crowd of players below. Driven by curiosity, you decide to fly down to see what's happening. In the crowd below, Yushen Dangtian is throwing a massive fit.
Useless!
You're all useless! Over 3,000 thieves and hunters, and you can't even find one kill 2 birds with 1 stone!
Facing Yushen Dangtian's wrath, the core members below didn't dare to utter a single word. Suddenly, Wang Hao felt a chill down his spine and looked up.
Guild leader, I think there's someone above us.
Wang Hao stared in a daze at the figure descending from the sky. The rest of the Yushen Guild followed his gaze, and suddenly, Yushen Dangtian's expression darkened instantly.
It's kill 2 birds with 1 stone! Everyone get ready! On my command, attack!
Understood. Yushen Dangtian's order was quickly relayed. Over 10,000 players outside the south gate all looked up at once. At this moment, you can clearly see the game IDs of these players. Without exception, they all start with Yushen. Clearly, these people are from the Yushen Guild.
Thinking of ganking me in the wild. Looks like it's time to give Yushen Dangtian a little shock.
You lower your altitude and hover right above Yushen Dangtian, staring him down. Yushen Dangtian's expression is incredibly dark. To him, your behavior is a blatant show of disdain and an insult.
Everyone, on my mark, attack!
With Yushen Dangtian's command, the already prepared guild, the ranged classes began unleashing their skills at you. Every class with a ranged attack launched an all-out assault against you. Facing thousands of incoming attacks, a trace of disdain flickers across your face. You let the attacks hit you directly. In midair, the overlapping skills triggered a deafening, massive explosion. The players watching from a distance all stared with eyes wide in shock.
Even 1 arrow 2 birds won't be able to shrug that one off, right?
1 arrow 2 birds. That's what you get for looking down on our Yushen Guild. Now you know better than to mess with a top guild.
Yushen Dangtian laughed like a total maniac. His facial expression grew slightly distorted. However, his smile soon froze on his face. As the explosion dissipated, you emerged before the crowd completely unscathed.
Impossible.
Huh. Now, It's my turn.
Fire whirlwind.
With a wave of your hand, you dropped a fire whirlwind into the thickest part of the crowd. As a dense flurry of damage numbers floated up, every player in that area was instantly vaporized into white light. Yu Shendangtian's eyes nearly popped out of his head at the sight.
To think someone could deal this much damage at this stage of the game.
The guild officers were still shouting orders. To them, you must have used some kind of shield skill. Otherwise, you couldn't possibly stay airborne under the focus fire of so many players. Since it's a shield, it must have a durability limit.
As long as they kept up the pressure, they were sure they could bring you down.
Under the officer's command, another round of dazzling attacks surged toward you. This time, you didn't just stand there and take the hit. Instead, you activated your angel wings and soared higher, dropping another fire whirlwind as you went. With a 3-second cooldown, fire whirlwind is your most effective AoE skill right now. In a massive teamfight like this, its performance was devastating. Hundreds more players perished within the flaming vortex. That's when you spotted the guild management directing the battle. You immediately unleashed the Azure Sunder technique. As bolts of lightning struck down, the group of commanding officers was instantly wiped out. Equipment dropped all over the ground. Seeing this, Yu Shendangtian finally realized something was wrong. Kill 2 birds' damage and defense far exceed those of ordinary players.
Something's wrong. His stats are way beyond normal players. If I keep fighting, I'm dead. I have to leave.
The moment this thought surfaced, Yu Shendangtian ignored his nearby guild members. Instead, he secretly crushed the teleport scroll and returned to Holy Light City. Meanwhile, you also noticed that Yu Shendangtian had fled. Sneering inwardly, he activated the Eye of Haocang, targeting the Holy Light City teleport point.
Trying to run. Did you ask for my permission? Heavenly sword.
Fire. The sword light then streaked into the distance. On the other side, Yu Shendangtian looked grim as he stepped out of the port. The guild managers who had just respawned also found Yu Shendangtian. They crowded around him, asking what the next move should be. As he was about to answer, he suddenly saw a flash in the distance of blue light across the horizon. Before he could make out what was inside the blue light, it came streaking straight toward him. At that moment, Yu Shendangtian instinctively sensed a mortal threat.
Dimensional void.
Without hesitation, he crushed a rare life-saving item he had struggled to obtain. His body instantly became translucent.
Finally activated. In this state, I'm already in another dimension. No attack can harm me now.
However, reality is often unexpected. The blue light, like a spike of truth that pierces all illusions, struck directly into Yu Shendangtian's ethereal body. Minus 1,854,723. Such insane damage. It popped up over Yu Shendangtian, who then turned into a streak of white light, vanishing on the spot. The rest of the guild management was completely stunned. Everything happened so fast that they hadn't even reacted yet, before their guild leader was one-shot by an attack from afar.
It was an attack from double shot.
Meanwhile, the situation outside the city had also shifted. Under the devastation of your fire whirlwind, more and more players were sent back to the respawn point. Once more than half the players were wiped out by your fire whirlwind, the remaining players finally reached their breaking point. Growing resentment towards Yu Shendangtian and the guild management spread among the members, and people began to quit the guild.
What on earth is the Yushan Guild doing?
It's over! That's it! I'm quitting! I'm leaving the guild!
This infuriated the newly respawned Yu Shendangtian even more.
Double shot!
I'm going to kill you.
But he had just respawned and barely had time to curse before a bolt of lightning struck from above. Under the horrified gazes of the surrounding players, Yu Shendangtian was one shot in the spawn pool once again. The massive siege, watched by shocked bystanders, came to a swift end in less than 5 minutes. The onlookers were completely dumbfounded.
This double shot is just too strong! Didn't anyone notice?
His damage output is all in the hundreds of thousands or even millions.
You're only realizing now that Great God Double Shot's damage is high. His damage was over 10,000, but he was only level 5, okay?
And now he's level 30.
This is truly terrifying.
Because of this battle, the name Double Shot began to truly draw the attention of all the major factions. After successfully entering Holy Light City, you head straight for its grandest landmark, the Holy Light Cathedral. Seated on the main throne within the hall, an old man with snow-white hair and beard looks at you with a smile.
It seems you have defeated the demons suppressed in the land of beginnings. You have done well. The god shall bless you.
The high priest offers a gentle smile and waves his hand toward you as a warm ray of holy light flows into your body.
You have received the blessing of High Priest Orin, max HP plus 300.
You raise an eyebrow. For an average player, this blessing would be a dream come true. But for you now, it's barely better than nothing.
Thank you for your blessing.
If you can bring me the head of the rampaging Lich Glock, I will reveal the next stage of your quest.
High Priest Orin has issued a quest. Retrieve the head of Lich Glock. Accept quest. A peculiar look crosses your face. Lich Glock. Isn't that the Lich hiding within the undead crypt?
Talk about a coincidence. I accept the trial.
The glory of God shall be with you.
After bidding farewell to High Priest Orin, you use the teleport scroll to return to Eternal Night City. Meeting City Lord Eris again, her expression seems even colder than before. However, she still acknowledges you with a slight nod.
1 arrow, 2 birds. I've received word that the Sea Tribe has finished mobilizing their forces. They will launch an assault on Eternal Night City in 10 hours.
Hearing this, your expression turns grim.
What was meant to happen has finally come.
In your previous life, you had heard about the Sea Tribe's siege of Eternal Night City, but this time, you will experience the battle firsthand.
Iris, you summoned me because you have something to discuss, don't you?
I've received word that the one leading the army this time is General Shisha of the Sea Clan.
With your help, I'm 100% certain we can secure a swift victory.
Facing the Sea Clan's invasion,
Iris, the Lord of Eternal Night City, has sent you a party request.
Without a second thought, you accepted immediately.
I'd be honored to fight by your side.
I knew I could count on you.
Eternal Night City Lord Eris's affinity toward you has increased by 20.
After saying that, Iris hurried out in a rush.
Eternal Night City will be invaded by the Sea Clan in 10 hours. All bound. Players of Eternal Night City can participate in the defense.
The sudden announcement left every player in Eternal Night City completely dumbfounded.
But a moment later, their shock turned into pure excitement.
A regional city defense mission. This is basically a points-grinding event. Wait, for real? Free loot and points. Following the announcement, more and more players began teleporting back to prepare, as time ticked away second by second. A dark tide finally surged forth from the distant horizon as the enemy swarm appeared. Iris, clad in full battle armor and protected by a squad of guards, passed through the crowds and climbed onto the walls of Eternal Night City. Every player who caught a glimpse of Iris along the way froze in their tracks.
The city lord is drop-dead gorgeous.
She looks 10,000 times better than in the screenshot!
Surrounded by her guards, Iris stepped up to the battlement, looking down at the bustling crowds to the west. Iris stood atop the wall, surveying the massive gathering below.
My people!
Today's battle will be perilous. The very survival of Eternal Night City is at stake.
May the radiance of the Eternal God
be with you all.
You have received the blessing of Holy Light Knight Iris. Your HP, NP, and attack power have increased by 5%.
Elite's mass blessing sent the players into an instant frenzy. Some shouted on the spot, "All hail the City Lord." Others fanatically declared their undying love for Elise. The majestic blare of horns echoed as the sea race tide surged from the horizon. Their true forms gradually came into focus. Leading the vanguard was a swarm of fish-headed humanoids brandishing harpoon. These grunts were so densely packed they stretched for miles, with no end in sight. Before the players could even move, the Eternal Night City Guard struck first. A volley of black arrows suddenly soared from the city walls, tracing a perfect arc before raining down into the Murloc ranks. In just one exchange, a massive wave of Murlocs silently collapsed. The players were fired up by this spectacular sight. Some immediately began unleashing their own attacks on the monsters below. On the walls, the players were laughing and joking, slaying the advancing Murlocs with casual ease. 3 hours passed, and the front lines of the Murloc army had been wiped out. Next to lead the siege was the Flying Fish Commander, a level 55 diamond boss with the skill Flying Fish Blitz, Raging Tides, Source of Life, Fatal Strike, Fish Scale Spalders.
Brothers, a boss has spawned! Don't let him get away!
The players bombarded the Flying Fish Commander with their skills. The dense barrage of abilities painted a rainbow across the sky. After the smoke cleared, the Flying Fish Commander was completely unscathed.
Foolish humans, you aren't even worthy of tickling me.
With that, he unleashed Flying Fish Blitz on the players atop the wall. Like a phantom, the Flying Fish Commander began ruthlessly harvesting lives. In the blink of an eye, over a dozen players had fallen. At this moment of despair, you descended like a god. It's the great god Fanbiao.
My god, it really is him! We're saved!
Gazing at the Flying Fish Commander's stats, you take no chances. You immediately use Grip of Divine Fury to lock him in place. Grip of Divine Fury, active, instant cast, spatial compression, suppresses all targets within the area for 8 seconds. As the Grip of Divine Fury activates, you simultaneously cast a Fire Whirlwind. Then, standing midair, you draw your bow and begin to charge your shot. The Fire Whirlwind spawns right on the Flying Fish Commander, instantly burning through his HP bar. The Flying Fish Commander looks shocked.
A human who hasn't even reached his second-class advancement can actually deal such insane damage. No wonder those cannon fodder couldn't break the defense line.
But that was the least of the Flying Fish Commander's worries. What truly concerned him was that he couldn't move at all.
What did you do to me?
The only answer is the agile glow intensifying on your bowstring. The Flying Fish Commander is bewildered.
A human who hasn't even reached second class. Against a sea beast like me who's almost at third class.
What damage could he possibly do?
Damage, 4,523,607.
What's happening?
Such high damage?
Damage, 4,523,607.
What's going on?
That damage is insane!
His HP bar snapped like a popsicle, losing half its length instantly. Still plotting his escape from the CC, the Flying Fish Commander was jolted with fear. A look of pure terror filled the depths of his eyes. You raise your hand, calling down a bolt of lightning. He finally panics.
I'm General Shisha's nephew!
Spare me.
Ignoring Commander Flying Fish's plea, your expression remains cold as you continue your rapid fire.
I refuse to accept this!
Commander Flying Fish died in a fit of rage. Then, the effect of Grasp of God's Wrath finally wore off. Meanwhile, a system announcement echoed in the ears of all players.
Server-wide announcement. Player 1 arrow, 2 birds. Is the first to slay a level 55 diamond boss. Reward, diamond grade equipment selection chest.
After the announcement played 3 times, people finally snapped out of their shock and started shouting, "Holy crap, did 1 arrow 2 birds just solo kill a level 55 diamond boss?" The scene shifts to the underwater world, where a conspiracy is brewed.
Eternal Night City belongs to me, and the head of 1 arrow 2 birds is yours. Deal.
While everyone was still celebrating the diamond boss kill, the commotion by the shore was quickly noticed by the commander. The war horn blared once more as a burly figure soared from the distant ranks. In an instant, he landed right in front of you. Only now can you see what he looks like. It's a half-man, half-shark on a ray mount, General Shisha, a legendary boss with unknown level, HP and MP stats.
Other than his name, all other attributes are question marks. He's clearly much higher level than me.
You've ruined my grand plans. From now on, you will be relentlessly hunted by the Sea Tribe.
General Shisha has issued a Sea Tribe bounty on you. Your reputation with all Sea Tribe factions has decreased by 100. Within any territory of the Sea Tribe, you will be banned from purchasing any goods from the Sea Tribe.
As General Shisha's voice fell, you received a system prompt. You couldn't care less about it. Seeing the disdain on your face, General Shisha flew into a rage.
I know you're a descender, so I'll take one of your lives today to settle the blood debt for the fallen soldiers of my clan.
As he spoke, an energy spear materialized in General Shisha's hand, and he hurled it at you. Your expression shifted as you prepared to dodge, only to hear a cold, sharp voice in your ear.
You want to kill my person? You have to get through me first.
Iris appeared, wielding a broad shield and a golden longsword, looking valiant and heroic, yet imbued with a noble air. Facing General Shisha alone, you did feel a bit of a panic, but with a high knight blocking the way, it was a different story. Clearly, Iris's arrival put considerable pressure on the general, with a holy light knight guarding you, unless you were ganged up on. That sharkhead stood no chance of hurting you. With that, you immediately drew your bow and aimed straight at General Shisha. General Shisha certainly wasn't going to let you attack freely. The Sea Tribe priests had buffed him with several blessings. At this moment, General Shisha was glowing with a red light, his aura surging to a whole new level. General Shisha was bathed in a crimson glow, his presence far more imposing than before.
Human, die!
His weapon, like a ferocious dragon, flashed at the tip as he lunged straight at you. Protection! Taunt! Iris had been wary of General Shisha all along. The moment he moved, she immediately used taunt to intercept his attack.
Come on, look at me!
Affected by the taunt, General Shisha's spear slammed into Iris' shield with a thunderous bang. General Shisha stumbled, nearly falling off the back of his ray. Fortunately, the ray retreated in time, absorbing most of the recoil for him. Iris, on the other hand, fared much better. She only swayed back slightly before steadying herself. By now, your sky-piercing strike had finished charging before the arrow was released. With a thought, you activated Divine Deer's grasp, instantly suppressing General Shisha. His eyes widened in shock as he began to struggle desperately. But your sky-piercing strike was already hurtling toward him. General Shisha's pupils dilated as the aura of death surged toward him. Fortunately, the force restraining him vanished just in time, and he hurriedly activated his armor's protective skill. A bubble-like shield instantly enveloped him. Only then did General Shisha's expression slightly relax. Seeing the damage numbers, General Shisha's eyes twitched uncontrollably. In all his years, he had never seen such an absurdly powerful descendant.
To think a player who hasn't even reached their second job advancement could deal such damage. It's no wonder that woman died at your hands.
Wasting no words, you raised your hand and called down another lightning strike. Then silently unleashed a barrage of arrows at General Shisha. Just as you were in the zone, a dark figure silently appeared behind you. With a single strike, time itself seemed to freeze. Sensing something wrong, you turned to see a dark shadow, lunging a dagger towards your heart from behind. At the critical moment, with a timely rescue by Yao Yao, you instantly spun around and dodged the fatal blow. However, your wings were slashed, leaving you unable to fly for now. If it weren't for Yu Nayao herself, we really would have been finished here. Iris, standing nearby, was equally shocked.
Despicable traitor!
The shadowy man removed his hood. It was Ailey, the assassin from the Yushan Guild.
Curse you! One arrow, two birds! Ailey, go stir up some trouble for him!
Don't worry, President. I'll take care of it. Quick reactions, Master Double Shot.
Your original plan was to use your flight ability, to act as the main attacker against General Shisha.
Now that you've lost the ability to fly, you can no longer threaten him. The Yushan Guild has likely reached some kind of deal with the Sea Clan. This is going to be a tough fight.
General Shisha raised his spear high and roared.
Fellow Sea Clan members, charge! Trample Eternal Night City! We are the true masters of this land!
The Sea Clan warriors beneath the walls fought as if injected with adrenaline, completely disregarding their physical pain. Even with a missing arm, they fought fiercely against the soldiers of Eternal Night City. The battle was originally leaning in favor of the humans, but General Shisha reversed the decline with just a single command.
Unlocking their potential and numbing their pain with mere words. Could this be Wheel of War? That's a talent only a tiny fraction of the Dragon Clan possesses. It seems General Shisha has quite a formidable background.
You patted Yu Nayao's head beside you.
Yaya, it looks like we might meet our end here today.
Yaya looked at you with a resolute gaze.
That doesn't sound like the Master Double Shot I know. God, just go for it. I've got more than enough heals for you.
With that, Yu Nayao raised her staff and began healing you frantically. You, who were down to only a third of your HP. It was fully replenished in no time. Looking at the confident Yao Yao, your fighting spirit reignite. Iris looks at the brutal battlefield, her heart filled with resolve. Watching your back as you fight, she suddenly drops to one knee.
With my life as my witness, I pledge to be your shadow and your shield. Whether the path ahead is filled with thorns or hellfire, I will stand before you. This loyalty is unwavering until death, eternal as the stars.
Iris stands up, her sword pointing straight to the heavens.
In the name of Iris, I shall protect one arrow, two birds.
A massive pillar of golden light erupts from the ground. At this moment, even the battlefield seems to fall silent. Ding! Holy Light Knight Iris has bound you as her protected target until the protection ends. The effects of blessings you receive from Holy Light Knight Iris are increased by 100%. As the blessings pile up one after another, you have become the most brilliant light in this realm. Right now, you have so many buffs in your status bar that you can't even count them. But one thing you see very clearly is your attack power attribute. After receiving numerous blessings, it has reached a staggering 2.24 million.
Is this the power of the Guardian contract? My attack power actually hit a terrifying 2.24 million.
While you're marveling at the stats, Iris comes to your side.
Stop daydreaming. Let's take down General Shisha together. Once Shisha falls, the Sea Tribe will be leaderless, and the crisis will be resolved.
Got it. Let's do this together.
With that, Iris immediately uses taunt on General Shisha.
Come on, Sharkhead. Face me.
General Shisha roars in anger. You're courting death. He charges straight at Iris. Iris and General Shisha lock in a fierce duel on the city wall, while Iris tanks at the front and draws the fire. You quickly open the diamond treasure chest, dropped by the Flying Fish commander. Iris and General Shisha were locked in a fierce duel on the city wall, while Iris was tanking the damage up front to draw aggro. You quickly opened the diamond treasure chest, dropped by the Flying Fish commander. Ding! Congratulations! You have obtained Sea God's Lookout. Rank, Diamond. Active skill, Breath of the Tides. Passive skills, Sea Tribe Bane, Sea God's Protection. What you value most about this diamond rank longbow is its active skill, which quintuples your attack speed for 5 seconds. Without a second thought, you began firing relentlessly at General Shisha. Facing the onslaught, General Shisha was naturally no pushover. Since his melee attacks were blocked by Iris, he switched to ranged attacks. But he clearly underestimated the protective power of a Holy Light Knight. Every ranged attack aimed at you was intercepted by Iris with a massive shield of light.
Ignore me! Focus on the DPS!
As for you, from start to finish, your arrows never stopped flying. You were going full tank and spank mode, with your shots dealing over 1 million damage each. General Shisha's protective shield finally hit its limit and shattered completely.
How is this possible?
Seeing the shield break, Iris shouted to you.
一针双雕!
Now's the time. You immediately drew your bow and charged up the skill Heavenly Strike. A pale blue arrow streaked toward General Shisha's face like a falling star. General Shisha remained calm, showing no intention of dodging. Just as the Heavenly Strike was about to hit, a blinding golden light erupted from General Shisha. It was so bright that no one on the city wall could keep their eyes open. Only you, with the power of the Eye of Haotang, could see the gold glowing object clearly. It was a dragon scale.
Damn it, this guy really does have dragon bloodline.
Little mouse!
If you don't make your move now, our deal is off.
A sudden chill runs down your neck. Instinctively, you throw yourself backward. A dark shadow, with a faint whistle of wind, grazes past your throat. You quickly roll up and lean against the wall as the golden light fades. A slender figure slowly emerges from the shadows. It's Ale, the assassin sent by the Yushen Guild. With a flick of his wrist, Ale hurls 3 silver daggers at you. Seeing Ale charging at you, Iris moves to help. But General Shisha blocks her path. The silver daggers Ale threw aren't aimed directly at you. Instead, they seal off your paths to the left, right, and above. Ale draws a strange short sword, emitting an ominous black aura. Closing the distance in an instant, you spot the short sword, and your pupils contract. This is...
Kingslayer. Then he is... the Kingslayer. The most mysterious second-ranked assassin from my past life.
Sacred protection.
Yao Yao recovers from the blinding gold light and, seeing the situation, immediately casts a shield on you. The short sword slams into the shield. The shield shatters instantly, and the blast wave sends you flying. Relieved to see you're okay, Yao Yao breathes a sigh of relief and starts healing you frantically. You were near death, but your HP is now rapidly surging back.
Damn healer!
Ignoring you now that you're nearly recovered, Ali turns and charges at Yao Yao.
Oh no, your heart skips a beat.
The reason the Kingslayer was known as the second best assassin in his past life was this Kingslayer dagger, forged from the skull of a demon.
Those killed by demon-related items are barred from resurrection. In this stage where the initial projection has begun.
Death is final. You're truly dead.
You pull out Demon's Whisper, the consumable item dropped by the Flame Demon. Staring at the item in your hand radiating a sinister aura. You have no time to worry about the dire side effects. You quickly bite your finger. Blood drapes onto the demonic skull. In an instant, time seems to freeze, and everyone around you comes to a standstill.
Please select a target to charm. Once selected, you will have 5 seconds to control them. Relish the feeling of absolute dominance.
You immediately manipulate Ale's perception. In Ale's mind, General Shisha has become the primary enemy to be eliminated. When you open your eyes again, Ale has already unleashed a full power strike at General Shisha. Meanwhile, far away in the undead crypt, the Lich, Gerlach senses a strange presence.
The scent of a demon.
General Shisha never expected Ale to attack him. He instinctively tries to dodge, but the distance is too short. As the thick smoke clears, General Shisha collapses onto his ray mount, his HP nearly depleted. You move in for the finishing blow, only to find the target cannot be locked. At that moment, Ali crashes violently to the ground from mid-air. The wound on his side is bone deep, and his HP has long since hit 0. But unlike other players, he doesn't dissipate to respawn in the main city. Instead, he lies motionless on the ground as if he has truly died. Exhausted and out of resources, you have no energy left for second thought. Facing all this absurdity, they could only watch as General Shisha fled in disgrace. The Sea Tribe army began to retreat slowly upon hearing the horn, and the crisis in Eternal Night City was finally over. Iris came to your side with a radiant smile.
My warrior, thank you for your service to Eternal Night City.
Iris's favorability toward you increased by 10. Current favorability 7.
Thank you for protecting us.
My knight. The players still holding the eastern wall. let out a roar of cheers as they saw the Sea Tribe army recede like the tide. The spectators witnessing this battle were all losing their minds.
Seriously, double shots damage. It's just too high. No one could tank that.
I just saw one of his arrows deal over 10 million damage. That's ridiculous.
The Sea Tribe threat was over, but just as everyone breathed a sigh of relief, a sudden piece of news hit like a boulder in the ocean, sending shockwaves through the player community. The Sea Tribe threat was over, but just as everyone breathed a sigh of relief, a sudden piece of news hit like a boulder in the ocean, sending shockwaves through the player community. A massive horde of undead has appeared to the west, heading toward the walls. This sudden news immediately threw the players in Eternal Night City into a panic.
What's going on?
I thought only the Sea Tribe was attacking.
Why? Why are there undead here?
Quick! Mobilize everyone to the west wall! We can't let the undead enter Eternal Night City! Otherwise, the system will likely fail our defense quest!
Compared to the Sea Tribe, the undead from the Undead Mountains are much easier to kill. At the very least, if Priest buff the DPS with a Blessing of Light, will deal double damage to the undead. This alone is enough for players to handle those undead. While receiving healing from Yao Yao, you learn that the undead army is attacking the west wall. The first name that comes to your mind is Lich Glock. Suddenly, the ground on the battlefield begins to tremble. A bottomless crack spreads rapidly. Then, a massive palm, made of pure white bone, grips the edge of the crack and heaves itself up. A gigantic skeleton king crawls out from the depths. Everyone present has only 2 words left in their minds.
Run! It's the Skeleton King!
A skeletal giant, nearly 100 meters tall, exudes a truly terrifying presence on the battlefield. Others can see the shadow on its shoulder clearly, but you recognize him at a glance. It's Lich Glock. Lich Glock, level 55 diamond level boss. Skill, Undead Summon, Dark Curse, Bloodlust Howl, Death Coil. Seeing Lich Glock's stats, you breathe a sigh of relief.
His stats are similar to the Flying Fish Commander's. He just looks more intimidating.
Lich Glock completely ignores your surprise. He walks slowly over to the motionless Ali on the ground. With a wave of his skeletal claw, squelch, Ali's neck splits open, a clean wound releasing a drop of essence blood. Held by an invisible force, it traces a strange arc through the air. It flies straight into the center of Glock's forehead. Ali's body visibly shrivels up,
until even his skin turns to ash.
Having absorbed the essence blood, Lich Glock's wizard bones and flesh begin to reconstruct. It was as if a wizard tree had been infused with a sinister vitality.
Exactly. It's the scent of a demon. As long as I possess the power of a demon,
I can completely annihilate all of you arrivals.
You check Lich Glock's stats once again.
System error. Unable to identify.
Lich Glock, legendary boss, level unknown.
Damn it. This guy actually evolved.
The reborn Lich Glock scanned his surroundings, his gaze locking onto a group of players running toward Evernight City. He casually raised his right hand toward a blonde warrior and clenched his fist in the air. The blonde warrior seemed to sense something was wrong, but before he could even let out a scream, his life was snuffed out by an irresistible force.
What kind of skill is that?
He crushed a warrior from dozens of meters away with just a gesture.
Forget that for now. We're short on tanks. Tell that warrior to respawn and get back here for support immediately.
I can't reach him.
I can't get through to him.
The system says character does not exist.
Meanwhile, inside a large interactive gaming center, a gaming pod began to flash red. Staff rushed to open the hatch, only to find the man inside foaming at the mouth. Lich Glock clearly had no intention of stopping. He raised both hands this time. Regardless of class or level, anyone he targeted would instantly lose all power and collapse.
This is already the 8th case brought in. Their symptoms are identical. Total brain death. They were all playing a game called Star Source before being brought here. Should we report this for a formal investigation?
Silence.
Don't make baseless claims without evidence.
But all of these people...
Do you know who the mastermind behind Star Genesis is? Shut up if you value your life.
Boss, this incident is getting out of hand. Should we step in and silence them all? It doesn't matter. They were bound to find out sooner or later. Let's see if Double Kill is truly the one we've been waiting for.
With dozens of players falling around you, you can no longer hold back. Looking at your newly repaired wings, you grip the Sea God's watchtower and begin to whisper.
Spirit of the sea, I summon thee. Answer my call.
The angel wings fold inward, enveloping you in a deep sea blue cocoon.
2 seconds later, the cocoon shatters into shimmering points of light.
This is the Sea God form, unlocked only by combining the Sea God's watchtower and the angel wings. Unlike the Moon God form, which focuses on physical damage, the Sea God form specializes in magical attack. It's the perfect choice for dealing with the skeletons and liches beneath the walls. Without a word, you raise your hand and unleash a fire whirlwind. Under the Sea God's influence, the whirlwind is a spectral blue, devoid of warmth. Instead, it radiates an eerie, bone-chilling cold. Any skeleton it touches is instantly reduced to nothingness. The spectral blue whirlwind obscures the Lich Glock's vision, allowing the other players to retreat safely into Eternal Night City. As the whirlwind dissipates, your charged heavenly strike follows immediately, aiming straight for the Lich Glock's heart. Just meters away from the Lich Glock, a massive skeletal hand intercepts the arrow's path. Spectral blue flames sear the Skeleton King's left arm, until the entire limb is burned to ashes. Then, with a sickening crack of rapid bone growth, the Skeleton King's arm regenerates instantly, as if the strike never happened.
If the Skeleton King behind Glock isn't taken out,
there's no way to even scratch him. Damn it.
If the Skeleton King behind Glock isn't dealt with, there's absolutely no way to harm him. Shadow, go find the priest and get a light buff. You've got the speed, so I'm leaving that Skeleton King to you.
Huh?
Double kill.
Don't be so double standard.
How could I possibly be the Skeleton King?
Big brother, you're the strongest. The Skeleton King is definitely no match for you.
You bet. Don't you worry, sis. Once I take down that Skeleton King, I'll make you some bone soup.
You watch as Shadow dashes out from the back gate of Eternal Night City, and your focus returns to the battlefield.
Currently, all players can do is drop canisters from the city walls, while the melee players don't dare set foot outside the city without a light buff to protect them.
Once locked onto by Glock, they're as good as dead.
Beneath the walls, Glock commands his mages and the skeleton soldiers to relentlessly assault the barrier. At this rate, the priests inside the city won't hold out much longer.
If Shadow can just stall the Skeleton King, if Yao Yao holds on for 10 more minutes, I'm confident I can take down Glock. But how are we going to survive those 10 minutes? Is it really going to end like this?
Just as you are at your wit's end, massive pillars of teleportation light erupt within the city, each over 20 meters wide. They bridge heaven and earth, sweeping across Eternal Night City and the surrounding mile, instantly clearing the dark clouds and the aura of death.
Is that a teleportation array?
A player on the verge of collapse murmurs, as a voice full of reassurance echoes from within the light.
Double shot, bro. Hope I'm not late to the party.
The speaker was none other than Tyran Blade of the Domination Guild. He led the members of the Domination Guild out from the Pillar of Light. Right after, more figures began to emerge from the light. It was the members of the Qingluan Guild and their vice leader, Qingluan Yu.
Little brother Doubleshot, you owe me a big favor this time.
Lina and Zhao Yu also stepped out from the light, followed by a crowd of players.
Little brother, your big sis is here to back you up.
As the Pillar of Light finally began to fade, High Priest Orenberg of the Holy Light Cathedral emerged with a host of priests.
Young brave one, the Holy Light Cathedral shall be your strongest shield.
With that, the priests began casting Light's blessing on every melee fighter, and started repairing the damaged barrier.
I'll catch up with you all later.
First, let's clear out this track. Without even looking back, you unleashed another fire cyclone. Their arrival acted as a stabilizing force, instantly securing the crumbling front line.
Leech Glock, your head is mine.